Chapter 1449, Ninth Heaven. A huge immortal source illuminated the three realms. The immortal source was still covered in red blood vessels. Below the immortal source, a beautiful figure sat cross-legged, quiet, lonely, like a statue. Guard the immortal source. In the past, this was the task of the other emperors. She would come to cause trouble and mock them from time to time. But today, she was the one guarding this place. Even if she did not want to, she still came. The Celestial Emperor's Order. What was the immortal source? It was the lifeline of the three realms. It controlled the lifeline of all the powerhouses of the three realms. How many people could get rid of the immortal source? Other than those emperors, only a few people in the three realms could get rid of the immortal source. Guarding the immortal source was to prevent the martial artists of the three realms from destroying it and escaping. This was not guarding, but cutting off the hope of the martial artists of the three realms. I've finally lived to the point where I don't want to live anymore. An unspoken murmur sounded in his heart. Spirit Emperor did not open his eyes. Guarding the immortal source meant that he was destined to be the enemy of the three realms. It was not that nothing happened these days. For example, in Eighth Heaven, there were frequent sounds of movement and curses. At this moment, in Eighth Heaven, another voice sounded. Someone scolded loudly. "Little girl, you are too cold-blooded. My brother sure has been your bootlicker for tens of thousands of years. You are not even willing to cut off his path above the immortal source. Are you still human? No, you are not human since a long time ago. To think that my brother sure advised Fong Ping not to fight his way up to Ninth Heaven and snatch you to be his wife. You are so black-hearted. You have an old lover, and you have forgotten about Brother Sure? Get lost!" The last one was scolded by Sherpa. Very soon, Sherpo's voice was heard. "Fatty Ling, what did that old fellow Celestial Emperor give you? I'm not more handsome than him, not younger than him, not stronger than him. If he wants you to guard, then guard. Why do you have to listen to him? Fatty Ling, guarding the immortal source is not a good thing. Fong Ping will come sooner or later. Definitely. The immortal source controls billions of people. How can he give it up? Right now, this place is the most dangerous. If Fong Ping kills his way here and no one from the source box comes to help, you're dead meat," Sherpa said loudly. "The Celestial Emperor wants to protect the celestial origin. I'm afraid the others can't wait for Fong Ping to kill him and kill you. Then, they'll wait for the Celestial Emperor to make a move and test the Celestial Emperor's strength. I understand that. So how can you not? Even though Fong Ping promised Old Cat and Little Purple that he would spare you twice, this kid is cruel and merciless. His heart is black and hard. Last time he cheated and lost one chance. If he does it again, you'll definitely die next time. Fatty Spirit, why don't you rely on Fong Ping? Fong Ping is not isolated and helpless in the origin. There's still a young god in the human world. Maybe he'll be roped in by Fong Ping. If this goes on, no one can save you." Sherpa roared loudly, his voice coming from the Eighth Heaven. He and Luan were now partners. Tian Go had proven his Tao. Tian Chun had been imprisoned. Those who had proven their Tao in the three realms had proven their Tao. Those who had accepted their fates accepted their fates. He and Luan didn't want to accept their fates. They still wanted to survive. The way to break through the immortal source was their current goal. And the Spirit Emperor, who guarded the immortal source, happened to be Sherpo's old acquaintance. At this moment, the two of them had been clamoring in the Eighth Heaven for a few days, brainwashing nonstop. One scolded and the other persuaded. Their cooperation was quite tacit. The Spirit Emperor turned a deaf ear, but frowned slightly. Obviously, he was still a little affected, but he was unwilling to reply. At this moment, Sherpa suddenly said sadly, "All right, I won't talk about this anymore. I'll ask one more thing. Those few hands that tried to kill me back then, were you the first one?" The Spirit Emperor suddenly opened his eyes and said coldly, "So what if it was me? It's really you?" Sherpa couldn't believe it, his tone full of sorrow. "It's really you?" That day when Dongwang told me, I still couldn't believe it. You want to kill me?" Silence. Sherpa said sadly, "You want to kill me? You really want to kill me? We've known each other for a long time. After you proved your Tao, I knew that I wasn't good enough for you. So I pretended to be crazy and ruin my reputation. I just wanted to let others know that it was me who wanted to ruin your purity, and that it wasn't you who abandoned me after you proved your Tao. I thought that there would at least be some feelings left. Who knew? Who knew that the first one who wanted to kill me would be you? How did you become so heartless? So cold-blooded? Does becoming an emperor mean destroying humanity? Destroying lust? If that's the case, then it's fine if I don't become an emperor. Hearing this, Juan said in disbelief, Brother Sure, you two knew each other before you proved your Tao? You had an affair back then? This woman dumped you after she found a higher position? She still wants to kill you? Damn, isn't that Pangelian who killed Wu Daolong? This woman is actually so despicable. Boom. A jade-like hand broke through the barrier and instantly attacked Luan. Even if the Spirit Emperor didn't want to care, he couldn't help but attack. He even scolded, Sherpa, you're asking for death. You dare to ruin my reputation. What old lover? They didn't know each other before they proved their Tao, but it wasn't as ambiguous as Sherpa said. They were just strangers who met by chance. Sherpa, this be asterisk starred, actually deliberately caused chaos. He deserved to die. The Spirit Emperor's eyes were filled with anger. Despicable, despicable. Sherpa, this lecher, was getting more and more despicable. The jade-like palm hit 8th heaven, causing it to shake. Sherpa and Luan's faces had already turned pale. They fled frantically toward the catacombs. Li Zhu was there, and Fong Ping was near the catacombs. The Spirit Emperor didn't dare to act recklessly. They'd run first. As for Sherpa, he said hurriedly, Fatty Spirit, it's a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. We knew each other from the start. You did abandon me after you got me. Did you forget? We used to team up to explore the origin, but after you proved your Tao, we stopped exploring. Didn't you abandon your teammates? It's a misunderstanding. It's all because of this be asterisk starred Luan. I don't know him. Don't be angry. Luan was scolding crazily. This be asterisk starred. If you didn't say it so ambiguously just now, why would I think of this? The two of them threw the blame to each other. The Spirit Emperor's pretty eyes were filled with killing intent, her palm striking through multiple heavens. There was a loud boom. Sherpa and Luan were sent flying, blood spurting out. The Spirit Emperor snorted, her palm dissipating, leaving Sherpa and Luan looking at each other, their faces full of depression. The Spirit Emperor didn't want to kill them. They were also the few top powerhouses in the 3 realms. Plus, they were on good terms with the humans. If she really killed them, Fong Ping might really come for her immediately. Although the Spirit Emperor wasn't afraid of him, guarding the immortal origin was the top priority. At this moment, she also didn't want to have a conflict with Fong Ping. Plus, Sherpa was considered an old acquaintance. This guy had always been so despicable. The Spirit Emperor was more or less used to this despicable guy. As for Luan, she was just playing the role of Tengu back then. In the turbulent void, Luan and Sherpa looked depressed. Luan couldn't help but scold in a low voice. Useless, you're so stubborn. Big Rock, you can't even handle your old lover. But what's with him controlling our Tao? If he breaks the Tao's control, I'll break 9 today and prove my Tao tomorrow. Then I'll have some confidence. Do I really have to learn from that stupid dog? If it wasn't for the fact that Dong Huang didn't want to kill him, he would be dead by proving his Tao. Among the powerhouses who proved their Tao that day, only that fool Tengu didn't get rid of the Tao's control. If Dong Huang, who was guarding the immortal origin that day, was willing, he could break the Tao at any time and seriously injure Tengu. The powerhouses of the 3 realms saw this and remembered it in their hearts. Even if someone could break through now, they wouldn't dare to, afraid of becoming the Emperor's food. The two of them had been lingering here recently. They wanted to release the Tao through Sherpa and the Spirit Emperor's old friendship. The fake Tao became the real Tao and was no longer controlled by the immortal origin. The dream was beautiful, but the reality was cruel. The Spirit Emperor didn't care about them at all. If he hadn't gone overboard today, he wouldn't have bothered with them. Sherpa was also depressed and said helplessly, if it doesn't work, I'll find Fong Ping and the others to think of a way. Anyway, Fong Ping won't give up the immortal origin. Everyone is waiting for him to clash with Fatty Ling. When the time comes, they can fish in troubled waters. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time. Now that the Celestial Emperor and the Divine Emperor are also watching, there might not be a chance. Last time, the Emperors let down their guard. They didn't expect the God Creation Envoy to secretly change the pillars and let a few of them escape. Would they still let down their guard now? Everyone had always attached great importance to the immortal origin. Even if no one in the 3 realms could break through the 9 realms, there were still a few emperors guarding it all year round. After that, even if they couldn't spare any manpower, there would still be an emperor avatar guarding it. Now, it was also the spirit emperor guarding it. The powerhouses of the 3 realms probably wouldn't have the chance to repeat the methods of the God Creation Envoy and the others. It was impossible to lure the spirit emperor away. While the two of them were talking, Sherpa suddenly widened his eyes. He didn't sense anything and turned his head to look. In the next moment, he also opened his mouth wide and turned to look at Sherpa. It was as if he was saying, "Your mouth has been opened. Someone was coming." Fong Ping. No aura could be seen from Fong Ping's body. He just stood there in the chaotic void with his hands behind his back and looked up at the sky, as if he was looking at the immortal origin. They didn't know if Fong Ping had always been here or if he had just arrived. The two of them didn't notice him before. They didn't notice anything unusual. Sherpa only felt that this guy suddenly appeared in front of him. Fong Ping. Sherpa swallowed his saliva. "You want to go to the 9th heaven?" Fong Ping seemed to have just noticed them. He tilted his head and smiled faintly. "Afraid of killing your old lover?" Sherpa laughed dryly and quickly said, "If you make a move, the Heavenly Emperor will definitely not sit by and watch. The Divine Emperor and the others can't wait for the Heavenly Emperor to fight you. If the Heavenly Emperor kills you, you can draw out some of the Heavenly Emperor's strength. In fact, the gains do not make up for the losses." Obviously, he was sure that Fong Ping could deal with Emperor Ling. "Immortal origin," Fong Ping murmured, then smiled and said, "Brother Sher, do you think I will give up on the immortal source?" No. Sherpa didn't even think about it. It was impossible for him to give up. This was something that concerned the survival of human martial artists. How could Fong Ping give it up? "Then why are you persuading me?" Fong Ping was still smiling. "Spirit Emperor understands. Celestial Emperor understands. Everyone understands. Whoever is in charge of the immortal source will have to fight with me sooner or later. Whether it is the Ash Cat or Lin Zi, they cannot change anything. A Spirit Emperor was not enough to exchange for the lifeline of a human martial artist. Even if I break my oath and can't hold back, I won't hold back." Although he had promised Lin Zi and the cat, he would not be so inflexible. When powerhouses fought, their lives were on the line. Whoever held back might die. Spirit Emperor was not considered weak. The last time they fought, her outburst was close to 85 million calories. Such a powerhouse might not even go all out. How could Fong Ping dare to really relax? Unless the other party really had no strength to fight back and was still alive, then Fong Ping could take advantage of the situation to fulfill his promise. Otherwise, he would not take it too seriously. As he said that, Fong Ping looked at the two of them and smiled. "How's the progress these few days?" Luan said gloomily. "Didn't you see everything?" He did not believe that Fong Ping did not see it. The two of them were beaten down. They were already in such a miserable state, and he still asked about the progress. Fong Ping smiled. "A woman like Spirit Emperor is stubborn. It's useless to just talk. You have to beat her. This kind of woman is used to being arrogant. She looks at everyone high and mighty. Why would she care about you? Beat her up once. If that doesn't work, then beat her up twice. If that doesn't work, then hack her to death. Even if she died, she would feel that her skills were inferior and that her death was not unjust. F***CK. Do you think she would care about you?" The two of them were embarrassed. That was really the case. Sherpa said helplessly, "How could we be her match?" Spirit Emperor was very strong. The two of them were not that strong. Even though they had improved a little with the help of the source turbulence, the two of them had only broken through 2 gates and were starting to approach 3 gates. Their vitality was only slightly more than 30 million calories, far from Spirit Emperors. At this point, Sherpa thought of what happened before and asked hurriedly, "You're going to ninth heaven now?" "Yes." This was too fast. Sherpa muttered in his heart. So fast. It had only been 3 days since the big battle. "You're doing it again." Could it be that Fong Ping had improved again? It had only been 3 days. Fong Ping had indeed improved. After absorbing so many star stones, how could he not improve? He was different from others. Others either improved their physique or their origin Tao. Fong Ping, on the other hand, needed to expand the source world. It was easy for others to reach a limit, but Fong Ping did not. The source world had expanded. Now, it was not even 10,000 meters in diameter. How far was it? Therefore, he still had room to improve. As for the others, many of them had reached the end. The current Fong Ping had improved his strength again, and it was not a small one. Vitality: 0, 31 million calories. Mentality: 0, 310,000 hertz. Force: 3,100. Origin: 62 million calories. Vitality: Jade Bones, 99%. Additional vitality. Qualitative change. Source world: 99 meters. Combat techniques: Chaos Vanquishing Saber techniques, plus 20%. Strength control, 100%, plus 20%. Maximum vitality, 86. 8 million cal. The star stones had not been completely absorbed. Although Fong Ping did not have a big bottleneck, the source world reaching 10,000 meters was similar to the Great Tao 10,000 meters. There were still some obstacles. Fong Ping did not directly improve to a diameter of more than 10,000 meters. He was stuck at 9,999 meters for a while. Fong Ping did not force it. It was fine as long as his strength improved. The current him, his explosive force had already exceeded 85 million. This was not counting his saber. If he counted it, it would definitely be 90 million calories. If Spirit Emperor only had the strength of the last time, he would definitely not be as good as Fong Ping. Sometimes, it was not just a matter of the difference in data. Fong Ping could accommodate 3,100 force now. His physique was 62 million calories. Spirit Emperor's physique was definitely not as strong as his. These emperors, although their origin no longer increased and had already returned to one, in reality, their physiques looked strong, but they were very superficial. The power of the origin was still the power of the origin. It was just that there was no obvious sense of increase. Their amplification was now at least twice as strong as before. In other words, the Spirit Emperor's physique foundation was at most less than 50 million calories, returning to one. These people's return to one was not successful. Or rather, other than people like the Celestial Emperor and Young God, the other origin emperors were not considered to have returned to one. There were too many loopholes. The Source World and Great Tao were the biggest loopholes. If they were not filled, how could they return to one? Want to go up and take a look? Fong Ping laughed. Both of them looked at each other. Luan grinned and said, "Of course, if we can take the opportunity to break the control of Great Tao, that's good too." They were not timid. If they were timid, they would not dare to make a ruckus in 8th heaven. Fong Ping walked in the air. All the space cracks retreated as if they had encountered a strong enemy. None of them cut him. Sherpa and Luan looked at each other, shocked. This guy was getting stronger and stronger. His improvement was frightening. What are the Monster Emperor and the others doing recently? Fong Ping asked suddenly. Nowadays, there were not many Breaking 8 who had not achieved Tao in the 3 realms. Other than Chu Wu, there were only the Monster Emperor handprint seal these people. Of course, it was still not a small number. However, after the previous battle, these people were a little shocked. Li Zhu and Hong Kuan had achieved Tao. Heavenly Hound, God Creation Envoy, and the others had succeeded. The people behind them were getting more and more difficult and dangerous. Luan said carelessly, "What else can they do? Wait for death. These guys don't dare to provoke Spirit Emperor, and they don't dare to achieve Tao now. Their cultivation is almost at the end. What else can they do if they don't wait for death?" Fong Ping laughed. Wait for death? No way. None of the Breaking 8 in the 3 realms would be willing to wait for death. These people probably had their own plans. Unfortunately, their strength was a little weak, and their luck was not good. Without the opportunities of Hong Kuan, Li Zhu, and the others, they might still be a long way from achieving Tao. Of course, there was still hope of breaking through 3 gates and breaking through 9. But how could they break through the broken Tao after 3 gates? How could they break through the control of the immortal source? This was probably what they were having a headache about now. God creation envoy broken divine weapon bone, Grand Kuin broken energy seed. Heavenly Hound had devoured tens of millions of catacombs creatures. Heavenly Hound's method was not suitable for others. They did not have Heavenly Hound's good teeth. Heavenly Hound cultivated the devouring method. This was not something that everyone could use. Moreover, now that the catacombs respected Li Zhu as the emperor, Li Zhu would not sit back and watch. Thinking about this, Fang Ping walked in the air and broke through the 9 heavens. In the 9 heavens, Spirit Emperor stood up, a long sword appearing in his hand. It was no longer indifferent like before, but solemn. Guarding the 9 heavens, guarding the immortal source, this was trouble. Everyone knew it was trouble. Otherwise, there would be no need to guard. However, Fang Ping was still too fast. Sea area. Li Zhu appeared again, also looking up at the sky. At this moment, the sun seemed to reflect 2 figures. Li Zhu also laughed and shook his head. When he met Fang Ping, Spirit Emperor would probably cry. Even if ordinary emperors wanted to find trouble, they would not go every few days. Fang Ping, on the other hand, had only been 3 days, and he had gone again. He did not know if there would be another war today. Li Zhu laughed. All right, let Fang Ping continue to attract the firepower. The more chaotic it was, the less people would care about others. Li Zhu no longer appeared, vanishing instantly. The source. It trembled slightly. In the next moment, someone said with sympathy and ridicule, "Looks like Spirit is going to be beaten again. I wonder if he will be beaten to death." There were not many people who could say that. This was exactly what Suppressing Heavenly King said. This guy, at this moment, casually soared into the sky, a huge phantom projected on the source, laughing and saying, "Fellow cultivators, is there any artifact to watch the show? It's not fun to watch the show from afar. If not, someone go to the human world and snatch that fat cat's divine peeking mirror." Someone laughed softly. In the next moment, a mirror soared into the sky, and the earthly emperor smiled faintly and said, "I don't need the divine peeking mirror. My Feng Yun treasure mirror can also see the 3 realms." There was a loud boom. An image appeared above the source. It was the scene near the 9th heaven immortal source. The Suppressing Heavenly King glanced and said with a smile, "Hong, you have done a lot of bad things these years. This Feng Yun treasure mirror connects the 3 realms spirit vein and the immortal source. Are you really going to be a historian?" Taoist Feng Yun collected information about the powerhouses of the 3 realms. The living left their names, and the dead hid their names. In the past, he helped people collect corpses, and there were countless coffins behind him. He did not know what this guy was thinking. The earthly emperor said with a smile, "It's not bad to be a recorder of the 3 realms civilization." The 3 realms civilization disappeared, and the 3 realms were rebuilt. If we can unearth the Feng Yun treasure mirror, we can also restore the 3 realms history. There were too many experts recorded in this mirror. The 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors, the celestial emperor's young god, the new emperor who had proven his Tao, Fang Ping who stirred up trouble, King Wu who guarded the human race, Chu Wu who fought against the heavens and earth. Here, their lives were recorded. Here, their images were left behind. The earthly sovereign smiled and said, "Say, if the 3 realms were to be destroyed and the heavens and earth were to be reopened, and the book of wind and cloud was discovered by someone many years later, would our names be recorded in history, or would our names be infamous?" Heh, there was a sneer, an indescribable mockery. What was the mockery? No one knew. Maybe everyone knew. The first half of their lives were glorious, and the second half of their lives were dirty. This was the powerhouse of today. No one spoke anymore. On the mirror, a few figures appeared. Fang Ping seemed to have discovered something. He turned his head and glanced. The Spirit Emperor was also looking at the audience with a cold face, as if he had also discovered them. The earthly emperor did not care. If these 2 could not even discover his surveillance, then they were underestimating them too much. In the mirror, the two did not break through the void and destroy the surveillance. They could do it, but they did not. In the picture, Fong Ping's voice could be heard. He said playfully, "If you think it's boring, I'll watch the show for you every day. If the Spirit Emperor doesn't find it troublesome, I'll come to play with you every day. After I kill the Spirit Emperor, I'll play with another one. I can play with you until all of you are dead." How arrogant! However, no one spoke. Some laughed, and some did not care. They only wanted to know, why did this guy, Fong Ping, go up to ninth heaven this time? Did he not know that even if he defeated the Spirit Emperor, the Celestial Emperor would not let him succeed? Even if the Celestial Emperor did not do anything, the Emperor would stop him. Ninth heaven. Fong Ping laughed, looked at the Spirit Emperor, and said lightly, "Go play somewhere else. I'm looking at the immortal source. I've never seen it before, so I'm very curious about it. Don't provoke me, or I'll beat you to death. Don't blame me for being merciless." The Spirit Emperor glared at him. Sherpa and Luan looked at each other, and then Luan could not help but curse in a low voice. If we said that, we would have been beaten to death. If Fong Ping said that, we would have just glared at him. Boom! A palm slapped. The Spirit Emperor did not want to have a conflict with Fong Ping now, but he could not stand these two bastards hitting him when he was down. Shut up if you don't have the strength. Fong Ping's chi and blood shook, shattering the giant palm. Ignoring the Spirit Emperor's pale face, he looked at the giant immortal source and murmured, "This is the first time I've seen an immortal source. This shape is so ugly." Back then, when he first entered the catacombs, he felt that this thing was too ugly, not standard, not round enough, and had always felt uncomfortable. Now that he looked at it again, it was indeed not round. Did the God Creation Envoy think of a woman when he was forging it? Why is there a bulge? Origin. The God Creation Envoy's face was pitch black. Then, he could not help but look at the immortal source in the mirror. After a long while, the more he looked, the stranger it became. He complained, "Who the F*** CK did it? It seems to be protruding." It protruded a little. If he did not look closely, he would not have noticed it. After a while, someone laughed and said, "It's not that there's a bulge, it's that other places have been flattened a little. That guy did it himself. He killed too many powerhouses and broke too many great Daos. The human clan's great Dao is even stronger, but it protruded instead." As soon as he said this, the God Creation Envoy was relieved. He exhaled and said, "I say he's a thief calling to catch a thief. Don't say, I don't know if I don't say it, but once I say it, damn, how many people did this guy kill? The surroundings are actually all bald. The great Dao of a powerhouse was very thick. If one of them was broken, how could they not be bald?" The subduing heavenly king and the others chuckled meaningfully. It was bald now, but after a while it might break. Chapter 1450. Below the Immortal Origin. Fong Ping observed the celestial origin. He was a little far away, so he did not get close. The Spirit Emperor was very vigilant, but he did not chase Fong Ping away. Fong Ping had no interest in fighting Spirit Emperor now. Even if he killed her, the others wouldn't give him the chance to destroy the celestial origin source. Moreover, he didn't even have the chance to kill Spirit Sovereign. The Celestial the Arch and the others wouldn't just sit by and watch. Now that he was not strong enough, Fong Ping could not be bothered to waste his efforts. The system has a lot of energy. Blood force, mind force, destruction force, origin force. Fong Ping calculated in his mind. The system could provide him with a lot of energy. All kinds of them. As for the rest, the three great emperors could provide it. Actually, the three great emperors could provide it as well. What about the great path of surprise? No, the ambush Dao was not meant to be used like this in the beginning. It was meant for Fong Ping to observe the Dao. As long as one had enough wealth, anyone's great path could be studied and viewed. However, the great Dao of the dead was obviously not possible. There were so many great Daos and so many powerhouses. How did the system break through? Immortal Spring. If one walked on the immortal origin, there would be no restrictions. As long as an expert was trapped in the immortal origin, they would be able to enter the great Dao. Fong Ping had never broken through the Emperor's Tao. When he was dealing with the Spirit Emperor's clone, Fong Ping could not break through the other party's great Tao. Fong Ping had tried it when he was dealing with the Emperor. In the end, he entered the origin universe directly. Back then, he had thought that he wasn't strong enough, but now that he thought about it, it wasn't that he wasn't strong enough. It was that the system couldn't provide him with such an ability. The reason for that was because those great Daos were not above the immortal origin system. It's at the immortal source. At this moment, Fong Ping was almost completely sure. After staring at the immortal source for a while, he did not see anything strange. Fong Ping's eyes moved slightly. Combat Heavenly Palace suddenly appeared in front of him. Spirit Emperor frowned slightly, not quite understanding what he was trying to do. Fong Ping could not be bothered with her, and suddenly entered Combat Heavenly Palace. He once again appeared at the place where Jean often appeared. He raised his head and looked at the sky. At that moment, Fong Ping noticed something different. The Combat Heavenly Palace was indeed special. At this time, Fong Ping was standing on top of Battle Heavenly Palace's sleeping quarters. When he looked at the immortal origin again, he suddenly realized that something was amiss. There seemed to be something attached to the gigantic immortal source. However, Fong Ping clearly did not see the existence of this thing earlier. However, from the Battle Heavenly Palace, they could see it from that angle. Jean did it? Fong Ping mumbled in his heart. Was it Jean's doing back then? So the others couldn't discover it at all? But Fong Ping could not help but curse in his heart. If he tried to retrieve it from the celestial source, he would definitely be attacked by the Spirit Emperor. Would the Spirit Emperor believe him if he said that he was here to take something and leave after taking it? They would definitely think that Fong Ping was going to destroy the immortal source. Fong Ping's head hurt. Could he not get it now? Fong Ping continued watching. As he watched, he suddenly felt something strange. He actually saw some other things here. He saw that there seemed to be more than just a system on the immortal source. That is, Fong Ping noticed something unusual in the bulging area. There seemed to be a thread beneath the blood vessels that was connected to something. It led to the sky, to the unknown. That's the human race's great Tao, the blood chi great Tao. That's the blood chi seed. Fong Ping was suddenly enlightened. What was going on with the Combat Heavenly Palace? He could actually observe these things. This was the chi and blood seed stealing power, stealing control, and intercepting some control of the chi and blood great Tao. That thread should lead to Wang Ruobing's source world. Who did this? There were also traces of the existence of some threads under some of the other great Taos, but they seemed to be broken at this moment. It was caused by the three seeds shattering. The Combat Heavenly Palace is a microscope. At this moment, Fong Ping understood. He couldn't see it, others couldn't see it, but standing in the Battle Heavenly Palace, he could see it. The Battle Heavenly the Arch had turned the Battle Heavenly Palace into a microscope. This was the microscopic world. Fong Ping continued to observe the immortal source. At this time, the more he looked, the more interesting it was. The paths extended upwards and eventually led to the darkness above. Is that where the Celestial Emperor is? Heavenly Emperor actually controls the entire immortal source. Something's wrong. At this moment, Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. Something's wrong. Fong Ping suddenly felt that something was amiss. According to his previous thoughts, the immortal source was taken by the Celestial Emperor to make up for the shortfall. But that's not right. Fong Ping adjusted the angle of the Combat Heavenly Palace and continued to look up. He even deliberately moved closer to some of the celestial sources. The Spirit Emperor frowned, but did not say anything. Instead, he looked at Fong Ping strangely. What was he doing? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Fong Ping mumbled. Something was not right. Divert it. At the very top of the immortal origin spring, it looked like a mass of blood vessels were inserted into the origin spring, but it was diverted. It was divided into several paths. The blood force Tao, the life Tao, the energy Tao, and the spirit Tao. For small forks appeared. This meant that these four paths led in different directions. Sanjiao Gate. Fong Ping's heart skipped a beat. Immortal source. Wasn't the immortal source used to make up for the shortfall? How was that possible? Mending the door? Sealing the door? No, Fong Ping had a headache. Suddenly, there was a loud bang, shattering the surrounding void. Without giving others a chance to look, he looked at the Spirit Emperor and said, "Let me ask you a question. You are trapped in the source. Why don't you leave through the 3 doors? Can't you?" The Spirit Emperor frowned and did not say anything. Fong Ping also frowned. "You want to force me to fight you now? Even if you don't say these questions, I can still ask a few old antiques." The 3 doors seem to be real and fake. They don't really exist. The Tao fruit can't leave through the 3 doors. The Spirit Emperor frowned and said, "If it was possible, we would have completely escaped before dawn." Fong Ping said again. The God Creation Envoy said that he only forged the immortal source, but the 3 doors were not forged by him. Then who forged the 3 doors? Heavenly Emperor. The Spirit Emperor said coldly. "We have to go through the 3 doors to enter the source?" "Yes." "Then the great Tao on the immortal source is related to the 3 doors?" The Spirit Emperor frowned again. "The great Tao on the immortal source has to be passed through 3 doors in order to break through and prove the Tao. There were no 3 doors in the source at the beginning. Does that mean that the 4 sides are actually open?" "Yes." The Heavenly Emperor wanted to seal the source, so he forged 3 doors? The Spirit Emperor frowned and said, "Whether he forged the 3 doors or not, we can't leave from the 3 doors. At least the Tao fruit can't leave." Fong Ping nodded slightly and said quickly, "Let me ask another question. The 3 doors are half real and half fake. If the 3 doors are completely sealed, what will happen?" When he said this, the Spirit Emperor hesitated for a moment and thought for a while before saying, "No one in the 3 realms can prove to be an emperor. And if the 3 doors are sealed, it means that your Sanjiao Gate is also completely sealed and can no longer be opened. That means that you can no longer cultivate the Tao of the origin." As the Spirit Emperor spoke, he raised his eyebrows slightly and looked at Fong Ping, slightly puzzled. Fong Ping murmured, "If the 3 doors are completely sealed, no one can prove to be an emperor. No one can cultivate the origin." Fong Ping suddenly looked at the Spirit Emperor. "After the 3 doors are sealed, and I mean completely sealed, does the Heavenly Emperor still need to fill in the holes?" The Spirit Emperor raised his eyebrows. "The 3 doors can't be sealed. They are half real and half fake. If they could, they would have been sealed a few years ago. Moreover, even if they could be sealed, the others wouldn't agree. That means that the Emperor can no longer leave the source." As she said this, she was stunned for a moment. Then, as if thinking of something, she said coldly, "If no one cultivates the origin, the source will gradually shrink." Fong Ping licked his lips and laughed. His laughter was sarcastic. The Spirit Emperor's expression changed again, and he said in a low voice, "The 3 doors existed to reduce the probability of martial artists self-destructing. This is because the ancient martial artist cultivation is chaotic. Their mentality and vitality force are mixed. The 3 doors are not to block the path, but to make martial artists safer." Fong Ping laughed and said, "Is that so? The Heavenly Emperor said that? You think there's no problem, and it's similar to what the Heavenly Emperor said, so you built the 3 doors?" The Spirit Emperor frowned again and said after a while, "There's another reason. The 3 doors haven't been built, and the source has been leaking energy. After building, the power can only enter and not leave, and the source will be more stable. This is also an important reason why we agreed back then. Otherwise, the source's power will leak, and it will collapse faster." Fong Ping smiled sinisterly. "I'm not asking about this. I just want to ask, if the 3 doors are half fake and half real and completely solidified, no one can prove the Emperor, and the Emperor can't go out or even be trapped and killed, will the Heavenly Emperor not have to fill in the holes?" I said, "That will cause the source to shrink." "Yes." Fong Ping also frowned slightly. "After it's completely sealed, it will cause the source to shrink." Fong Ping rubbed his forehead and thought slowly. As he thought about it, Fong Ping muttered to himself, "If the 3 doors are completely sealed, will the source reunite?" The Spirit Emperor looked at him and did not say a word. And Fong Ping thought of himself, After completely sealing the source, would it no longer be affected by the source? And now, if the source was completely sealed, what would happen? Reunite? Return to the appearance of the stars in the past? The martial arts of the three realms are destroyed. The source reunites. The power returns to the source. The source has a master. Heavenly Emperor. The three realms will return to the way it was 30,000 years ago. No, it's different. There are no martial artists, no powerhouses, only one Heavenly Emperor, one seed, Sun God. Sun God? Fong Ping continued to talk in his sleep. The source is sealed. The power returns. Can the Sun God still control those energies? What is devoured has to be returned. Strength weakened. Is the Sun God a match for Heavenly Emperor and the Seed? Fong Ping continued to shake his head. Heavenly Emperor, Seed, these two, in his impression, had always been the most hostile. Heavenly Emperor was the Seed's greatest enemy. And the Seed, the one who wanted to kill the most, was actually Heavenly Emperor, and it was also the Seed who lured Heavenly Emperor into the pit of the source. But what if these two worked together? Their goal was to destroy martial arts, to kill all the powerhouses of the three realms, including powerhouses like the Sun God. After that, Heavenly Emperor would become the only martial artist in the world, the only powerhouse. Qin Fengqing said that they were the thugs of the new world. Why did it have to be them? Could it not be Heavenly Emperor? What about Heavenly Emperor? In this three realms, Heavenly Emperor had the equally famous Sun God, the Divine Emperor and Do, who were slightly inferior to him, and the huge pit of the source imprisoned him. If they killed others in exchange for him, becoming the guardian of the new world, would he agree? Or was the preaching 30,000 years ago really unintentional? Or was it just a fake unintentional that caused countless people to fall into the pit? Fong Ping rubbed his forehead, looked at Spirit Emperor again, and suddenly smiled. Let me ask a question. When the source was destroyed, were there cracks as big as these three gates at the beginning? Spirit Emperor frowned at her. No, you probably don't know, but someone knows. Sun God. Fong Ping suddenly smiled. Sun God absorbed a lot of power from the source. Where did he absorb the power? Could it be that the area where the three gates were originally was sucked out by him? Thinking of this, Fong Ping suddenly stopped looking at the immortal source of ninth heaven. With a crash, the void was torn, and Fong Ping disappeared. Spirit Emperor frowned, not saying a word. He continued to sit cross-legged with his eyes closed. Not far away, Sherpa and Luan looked dull. Gone? The key was if you left, how could they leave ninth heaven? The two of them had no way to break ninth heaven. That, Fatty Spirit, how about sending us down? Boom! Spirit Emperor couldn't be bothered with them after slapping Sherpa away with a palm. Both of them looked sad, and then they couldn't help but curse. Of course, they were cursing Fong Ping. It was over if Fong Ping didn't come. Both of them would be trapped here. Sun City. Fong Ping arrived quickly and said hurriedly, Senior, I have something to ask. I just want to ask, when you absorbed the power of the source 30,000 years ago, was the source completely destroyed, or is there a lot of energy left around, ready to be closed again at any time? Sun God was not going to answer him, but at this time, the void suddenly trembled, and the next moment, Fong Ping appeared in the previous small world again. But this time it was not a beach, but a mountain of ice and snow. On the mountain peak, Sun God was still wearing big pants, but there was a ski under his feet, as if he was preparing to skateboard. At this moment, he asked curiously, Why do you ask this? Fong Ping couldn't care less about his appearance and said hurriedly, Senior, can you tell me how you absorbed the energy 30,000 years ago, and what was the layout of the source at that time? Sun God frowned. As he slid down the mountain, he recalled, Let me think, 30,000 years ago, I chased after seeds everywhere just to absorb more power. One day, heaven and earth suddenly shook, but the tremor was not big. At that time, no one in the source universe had discovered it, but I was very powerful. The others didn't find anything, but I found something different, so I tore apart heaven and earth and entered the current source universe. Sun God continued to ski, moving skillfully, and continued, "Then I found the source of the broken piece. When I saw it, I felt that the power was very strong, so I ran to check the situation. At that time, the Celestial Emperor had probably just left. Anyway, I seemed to see someone just leaving. At that time, I didn't care. I want to take a look. Oh, what a strong power. When I saw it, I felt that there was no danger, so I started to absorb it." "How did you absorb it?" Fong Ping asked hurriedly. Sun God smiled and said, "How did you absorb it? The power in the center seemed to have been taken away by the Celestial Emperor, and it was empty. Of course, I absorbed it in all directions, and when I couldn't absorb anymore, I ran away." Fong Ping licked his lips and said, "The empty area caused by the energy you absorbed, is it where the portal is today? It's where the portal is, and also where those broken paths are." Sun God chuckled and said, "I absorbed a lot and sucked the surroundings empty, so the path was broken, and the empty area where the portal has appeared." Fong Ping continued, "If you don't absorb that energy, what will happen? What will happen?" Sun God thought for a moment, then smiled and said, "There should be many people who can set foot on the great Tao of the origin, easily prove their Tao, enter the source, and become emperors. I think if I don't absorb it, almost all beginner martial artists can do it, and the repulsive force shouldn't be that strong. That's why I said that I'm the savior. Without me, wouldn't they have stepped into the source and become emperors? Fist Dark, these guys can prove their Tao. Saber God, Sword God, Martial God are all the same." Fong Ping felt a little thirsty. Looking at the old man in front of him, he suddenly said in a low voice, "Senior, if everyone enters the source and you don't absorb that energy, can that energy envelop the entire source again?" "It can, right?" Sun God thought for a moment and said, "It should be possible." At that time, the energy was very strong. There was no energy in the central area, and the surrounding energy was very rich. If not for that, I wouldn't have been able to contend with Heavenly Emperor. As he said that, Sun God frowned slightly. He suddenly looked at Fong Ping and frowned. "What do you mean? Senior, have you ever thought that the appearance of the source 30,000 years ago and the appearance of that star was actually not accidentally discovered by Heavenly Emperor?" Sun God frowned slightly. 30,000 years ago, Senior has been chasing after the seed, but Senior didn't find the source. Instead, it was discovered by Heavenly Emperor. Fong Ping thought for a moment and said, "Who was the strongest among the beginner martial artists back then? Heavenly Emperor or you, Senior?" Sun God sneered. "Heavenly Emperor? He's stronger than me? What a joke. In terms of strength back then, I was ranked first. This world almost became the world of the living. It's not the three realms." This was not the first time he had said this. It was not Sun God who had said it, but a few powerhouses who had said that this world almost became the world of the living instead of the three realms. Sun God continued, "That guy, Heavenly Emperor, was also very strong back then. If there was a ranking list in the top 10, Heavenly Emperor Qiong Hao Douwu would probably be in the top 10. That guy, Heavenly Emperor, was not too far away from the others. There was still a gap between him and me." Sun God said proudly, "I'm the one who chased after the seed. Would Heavenly Emperor dare? In the three realms. Only I would dare. Unfortunately, this Birdman was the first to discover the source. He devoured more power than me, so he caught up later." Fong Ping's gaze changed. If Senior hadn't accidentally discovered the source and allowed Heavenly Emperor to pass on his teachings, would Senior have walked on the path of origin? "Of course." Sun God laughed. "Who's afraid of not being strong enough?" Then Senior walked on the path of origin, and other beginner powerhouses also walked on the path of origin one after another. What would happen if the surrounding powers sealed the source? Sun God raised his eyebrows and continued to ski. After thinking for a while, he said, "We were trapped in the source. The Tao fruit was rooted in the source, just like the current emperor. No, it was even more difficult, because at that time, we really couldn't get out, and the origin accounted for most of the power." Fong Ping continued, "I'll ask another question, Senior. How many beginner martial arts powerhouses were there in total?" When I say powerhouses, I'm talking about Heavenly King realm and above. Moreover, they're the kind who have at least the strength to break 8. It had been too long. Sun God had almost forgotten, but now he began to recall. Fong Ping reminded him. How many powerhouses with the power to break 8 were there in less than 3 years before and after the source was destroyed? Don't keep asking, kid. It's been tens of thousands of years. I'm thinking. Heavenly Emperor Do, how? He calculated one by one. Many people had died over the years. Just how many supreme experts had the power to break through 8 levels in the past? There were many beginner powerhouses, but they were killed one after another in the later stages. For example, Fire God, Martial God, Saber God, Sword God, and Fist God who was killed not long ago. 35. 36. 37? Sun God recalled for a while and murmured, including that kid in town. It should be 37, right? That kid broke Peak 7 back then and almost broke 8, but he was also considered a top-notch powerhouse. He could also fight with those who broke 8. That's 37. Yes, it should be 37. Fong Ping said faintly, excluding Heavenly Emperor. How many are there? Nonsense, Sun God cursed. Then his cheeks moved, and he bared his teeth. 36. What about the source? Fong Ping's voice was faint. Sun God raised his eyebrows and said gloomily, 36 levels of heaven. Did Heavenly Emperor have the ability to destroy martial arts back then? Nonsense, of course not. If he dares to mention it, if we don't kill him, how can he have the ability to do this? What if the origin prevails and all 36 top-notch powerhouses fall into the trap? Kill them all in one fell swoop. Sun God's eyes suddenly turned cold. Suddenly, he turned his head to look at Fong Ping, narrowed his eyes, and said, You mean, that guy wants to kill all the powerhouses in the 3 realms and then destroy martial arts? Why did he? As he said that, Sun God murmured, They're all second. In the 3 realms, they're not as good as me. They're not even as good as Seed. Actually, they're the 3rd. After destroying the others, Seed doesn't care, and he can be the boss. Fong Ping said solemnly. If Senior didn't accidentally discover that place and absorb that power, causing the source to be unable to be sealed, and then accidents happened, then the others would have successfully embarked on the path of origin and become emperors, and then be trapped in the source. The powerhouses of the 3 realms would have been wiped out in one fell swoop. What kind of result would that be? The source was created by Seed. Why didn't Senior find Seed when he was chasing after it? But Heavenly Emperor found it instead. Isn't it the same who is baited? If it's Heavenly Emperor, why can't it be Senior? Senior is the strongest powerhouse in the 3 realms. Logically speaking, it's more appropriate to bait Senior. The corner of Sun God's mouth twitched, and he said embarrassedly, This. Actually, that? I don't really like to preach, so I only have this one disciple. That guy Heavenly Emperor likes to preach. Anyway, he's more enthusiastic than me. So, Fong Ping laughed. I understand. Senior is more selfish, the kind that runs away after swallowing the power, right? Bullsh asterisk T. What do you mean by selfish? Sun God was not convinced and said angrily, Do you know how to talk? If you don't, then talk less. Fong Ping was too lazy to answer. At this moment, he chuckled. So, what happened 30,000 years ago was not an accident at all. Heavenly Emperor and Seed had long reached an agreement to catch all the beginner powerhouses in one fell swoop, including Senior. Who would have thought something unexpected happened? The power that was used to trap people was completely absorbed by Senior in one go. Even if Seed wanted to create this source and give so much power, I'm afraid it would consume a lot of energy, and he might not be able to do it a second time. Therefore, there were some loopholes in the source. As a result, some people couldn't set foot on the source, and the number of emperors was greatly reduced, but the difficulty was also greatly increased. As a result, in the end, only 9 people proved their Tao and became emperors, and a few of them were not beginner powerhouses, but powerhouses who rose later. The source can't be sealed. Powerhouses like Senior can still escape, including Emperor God and a few others. If they really harden their hearts to run away and give up some things, can they also escape? The previous plan to trap and kill the powerhouses of the 3 realms was ruined. What should we do? Then let's start the battle of the Great Tao. 1 death counts, and so, beginner Marshall was defeated. Many experts have died. Most of the remaining have lost their origin source. But it's still not enough. 10,000 years ago, Heavenly Emperor felt that this could not go on. The difficulty of destroying martial arts in the three realms was very high, and he might not be able to deal with you and the 9 emperors alone. Therefore, he thought of the trap and kill plan from back then again. The source still needs to be completely sealed, and we'll talk about it after killing the 9 emperors. After that, we'll seal the source again. He has become stronger, and the energy that Senior absorbed back then may be extracted after the source is reassembled. When that time comes, will Senior be a match for Heavenly Emperor? Fong Ping laughed. When that time comes, will Senior die? Won't he? Yang Shen raised an eyebrow. What did you discover, kid? The problem with the immortal source. Fong Ping frowned. The power of the immortal source doesn't seem to lead to the crack that Heavenly Emperor is suppressing, but to 3 gates, or rather, for gates. I think that the immortal source matures not to suppress the crack, but to strengthen the gate and seal it completely. Huh? Yang Shen frowned. How can that be? I've seen the crack. It's very big, and he needs to consume a lot of energy to suppress it. What if the seed is willing to help him suppress it? Yang Shun raised an eyebrow. Then the seed will directly help him seal the gate. Then the movement will be too big. Will Senior not notice it? Will Senior continue to watch the show like now? Nonsense, of course not. If the seed dares to seal the gate, I've long noticed that something is wrong. I'll just hack Heavenly Emperor to death. Isn't that right? But the seed is helping Heavenly Emperor suppress the crack, or rather, the crack that doesn't exist at all. It's just an illusion. After all, it was created by the seed. Heavenly Emperor is just deliberately suppressing the so-called crack. Yang Shun's expression changed. You mean he has actually joined forces with the seed a long time ago? 30,000 years ago, he and the seed reached an agreement to destroy martial arts and kill all those powerhouses. Unfortunately, I ruined it, causing the plan to fail. That's why today's scene happened. The immortal source is used to strengthen the gate that I destroyed back then, and not to fill his own hole. Fong Ping smiled and said, I don't know. I just want to ask Senior, is it possible? Yang Shin was no longer skiing. At this moment, as soon as he stepped on the ground, the place changed. It turned into a volcano. Yang Shin frowned. Wearing big underpants, he suddenly jumped into the volcano and started swimming. As he swam, he cursed, no way. This guy doesn't seem like such a person. 30,000 years ago, he was a good person, a pioneer of preaching. How could this guy be so vicious? He and Heavenly Emperor were like enemies and friends. In fact, he had never targeted Heavenly Emperor. Over the years, Heavenly Emperor had ruined his plans several times. In the past, the small world that he had nurtured was also destroyed by Heavenly Emperor. Yang Shun swam in the magma, frowning. 30,000 years ago, there was some chaos. The heaven division that he was in was destroyed by an unintentional battle. He was very angry. At that time, he went out and was not in the heaven division. When he came back, there were only a few people left in the heaven division. Although he was angry, he didn't say anything. Who destroyed the heaven division back then? Yang Shin recalled. It was a long time ago. He had almost forgotten. Who? Martial God? Yang Shin murmured. Was it Martial God? Who did Martial God fight with? Sword God? Really? Probably. Both of them died. How did they die? One was when Xiong absorbed the power and died after he went back. The other was when he fought with Hao, and then he was suddenly killed. Hao was feared by the powerhouses of the 3 realms. If he hadn't achieved Dao, he would have killed him. As for Fong Ping, his eyes moved slightly. Dong Wang said that it was an accident that he killed Sword God. He didn't want to kill Sword God. Of course, no one believed him. The look in Yang Shun's eyes changed completely. F*CK, it can't be. Could it be that this old guy secretly did something? Did he let these two take the blame? It's really possible. At this moment, Yang Shun was no longer indifferent. The old friend in his eyes seemed to be completely different from what he had imagined. All these years, they had been like enemies and friends. He had never thought of dealing with that guy. But now, it seemed that something was wrong. There were many things that he had never thought about before and did not care about. However, now that it had been stirred up by someone, connected one by one, and gathered together countless clues, it suddenly made him have an unusual thought. Did Heavenly Emperor really King cooperate with Seed? Chapter 1451. In the magma, the young god was swimming. He did not even take off his pants. He did not know if the young god was too strong or if the pants were a treasure. That old thing and the Seed have joined forces. If that's the case, some things could be explained. Immortal source, the young god muttered to himself, I understand now. That guy is not trying to destroy the three realms, but to destroy martial arts. The immortal source kills martial artists. Ordinary people will not be implicated. They will only break their martial arts path. Without the immortal source, if the Seed no longer emits energy and the source is completely sealed, the three realms will become a world without energy. Without energy, they can't cultivate. Martial arts will naturally be destroyed. In this way, a group of ordinary people can survive, and the Seed can continue to maintain its intelligence. As he spoke, the young god suddenly jumped up, looked at Fong Ping, raised his eyebrows and said, Kid, isn't this in line with your purpose? It's just destroying martial arts. Now that the people who cultivate martial arts are dead, mortals can no longer cultivate martial arts. Even if they can only reach rank 5 or 6 at most. Without energy, I'm afraid it's impossible to cultivate to this point. I think it's pretty good. You'll be killed. Fong Ping laughed. The young god sneered. Don't talk about me. I'm asking you. Why did you come to me when you discovered this? Fong Ping paused for a moment and sighed softly. Actually, the world created by Celestial Emperor and the Seed is not bad. But my teacher, my friends, my brothers, they're all above rank 7. They're all targets to be killed. I want to destroy martial arts, but I don't want to do it in this way. Celestial Emperor wanted to destroy martial arts. The Seed wanted to destroy martial arts. Actually, it was somewhat similar to what Fong Ping thought. However, it was still different. The goal of Celestial Emperor and the Seed was to directly kill all the powerhouses in the three realms. All of them above rank 6, perhaps only Celestial Emperor could survive. As for how the Seed discussed with Celestial Emperor, whether Celestial Emperor had a guarantee, Fong Ping did not know. However, Celestial Emperor was not stupid. He must have some confidence. Destroying martial arts in the process of killing all powerhouses was not something Fong Ping could bear. Of course, if the human race was excluded, Fong Ping would not feel guilty. If they were destroyed, then so be it. Although the catacombs had more than 100 million martial artists above rank 6. Yang Shen curled his lips. So what you said about martial destruction is just nonsense. Fong Ping was suddenly stunned. He raised his eyebrows and looked at him. He had only told a few people about this. The matter of annihilating the martial arts was actually just a casual remark. The one who understood the most should be the God Creation Envoy. How did this old man know? The Yang spirit was too lazy to explain. His figure moved again, and the world changed. He returned to the previous beach. At this moment, Yang Shin leaned on the beach chair and continued to drink coconut milk. While shouting, he said, Brat, you're telling me all this because you want me to be your helpers? Yang Shun said playfully, Do you think I'll be a thug? I didn't think about this before, so I couldn't be bothered to care about it. Now that I know, the Celestial Arch can't do anything to me. Yang Shun said it indifferently, as if it was the truth. He wants to take away the energy I absorbed back then, but it's actually very difficult. He needs to completely reform the origin star. Only then will my power be separated. As he spoke, the young god narrowed his eyes and said with a smile, But a lot of things are needed to reassemble the source star. People who have absorbed the energy of the source ground, people who have absorbed star stones, like you. And the trash can in the source ground, that cat. And the power absorbed by the three realms source path martial artists. And the energy absorbed by the three emperors back then, including cutting off their paths and completely sealing the source ground. Yang Shun said lazily, This is the only way to deal with you guys. After that, he will attack me, take back my power, and reform the source star. As long as one of them can't be completed, he won't be able to take away my power. I thought about it for a long time. I suddenly realized that as long as I control a few people, he won't be able to completely seal it, such as the reincarnation of the three emperors. Fong Ping frowned slightly and said in a low voice, "Since the reincarnation of the three emperors is so important, why didn't the Celestial the Arch control them?" At this moment, he completely understood how important the reincarnation of the three emperors was. These three powerhouses were very special. Back then, they did not enter the source ground through the area where the portal was located. Instead, they directly cut through the source ground from other areas and stepped into the source ground. Therefore, after these three became supreme emperors, they were very strong. And now, if some powerhouses entered the source ground through a door, their strength was actually average, and they could only break through 9. The Tao of the three emperors also seemed to be beyond the Celestial Thearch's expectations. Why didn't the Celestial Thearch attack the three emperors' reincarnation? As for Tianxun, Fong Ping actually felt that there was not much hope. Did the Celestial Thearch pin his hopes on Tianxun? Yang Xin sneered. Is it useful to attack the three emperors' reincarnation? They are walking the three emperors' Tao, but when they die, this Tao is still there. It's just like when the three emperors are dead, their Tao is still there. It's not like killing them can solve it. Yang Shun was disdainful. Fong Ping's IQ was not high. So, killing the three emperors' reincarnation is useless. Yang Shun yawned and said, "First, the three emperors exposed the specific location of the Tao, and the Celestial Thearch found the location and broke it directly. Second, these three guys took the initiative to open up the Tao so they can also find the Tao. Third, these three guys have proven their Tao through the current fake Tao. When all three Taos enter the source ground and condense Tao fruits, they will also expose the true location of the Tao." The young god knew this very well. He laughed and said, "In fact, the Celestial Emperor has been doing this all the time. Haven't you noticed? If they started cultivating fake Tao, they might be able to verify their Tao. Once they verified their Tao, their true Tao would definitely be discovered. As for exposing his location, he might have secretly sent people to negotiate with you, asking you to open the great Tao and let them in this way. We will naturally be exposed." There was a strange look in Fong Ping's eyes. It was true. Previously, he thought that it was the emperors who had secretly contacted Yao Qinjun, and that it was the emperors who opposed the Celestial Emperor. But now, why couldn't it be the emperors who supported the Celestial Emperor, or even the Celestial Emperor himself? Fong Ping thought for a while and said, "How did the three emperors manage to break open another path and enter the source? Logically speaking, after what happened to Senior, the Celestial Emperor should be very vigilant. How did they manage to find an opportunity?" Yang Xin yawned and said casually, "That's why they're in the extreme Tao, but you're not. Only by being able to do what others couldn't do could one become stronger. Otherwise, how could a Ji Dao cultivator fight an emperor? They didn't even have Dao fruits, so how could they be so powerful? Don't ask others why they could do it. Others want to ask you, how could you be so strong in 3 years?" Yang Shun disdained to answer this question. If everyone could do it, wouldn't it mean that Ji Dao was everywhere? If it was so simple, why was Ji Dao special? Why could they become Ji Dao venerable emperors and war emperors? Also, do you know why they're called Ji Dao venerable emperors? Fong Ping frowned and didn't say anything. Yang Xin drank coconut milk and said vaguely, "The Great Tao is below 100,000 meters and above 10,000 meters. It's the range of venerable emperors. The reason why they're called Ji Dao venerable emperors is that these guys haven't actually walked a long path. If you don't believe me, you can take the path of those 3 people and see. The final true path should be less than 100,000 meters." Fong Ping hesitated and said, "Senior, you mean behind the gate of void is where their true path is?" Yang Xin chuckled and said, "Ordinary people can't find it at all. Except for them. Only those who have walked to the gate of void can find it. In other words, even if the immortal source controls their false path, they can't find the true path. When you came out of the source before, You walked Wang Jinyang's true path, so in fact, there are still people who know where their great Tao is. At least they know where Zhan's great Tao is. It's you can find it. Besides, the three emperors trust you very much. If you really want to follow their path to enter the source or leave the source, they will agree. Or if you simply want to explore their great Tao, they will agree. Fang Ping frowned and did not say a word. Yang Shun continued to drink coconut milk. After a while, he said, "It's true that you were created by those brats, but Celestial Emperor and the others didn't kill you. They even let you go and forced you. I'm afraid they still have some ulterior motives." Yang Shin exhaled and said slowly, "He also put in a lot of effort. Kid, have you ever thought of cutting off the three emperors' Tao and gathering it in your body?" Fang Ping's pupils shrank slightly. He had really thought about it. "Do you think that you can still prove your Tao because you haven't closed the three gates?" Fang Ping was silent. Yes, he had thought about it. He even thought about seizing control of the source. "That old man has even calculated your thoughts." Yang Shin sneered and said, "Once you cut off the three emperors' Tao, let's not talk about how big the commotion will be. Whether he can find the great Tao or not. Even if you cut off three Tao, he will definitely enter the source and want to seize the power. It's scary if he can't find it. If he finds it, can you fight him? At this point, the three emperors' Tao will be discovered and completely cut off." Fang Ping's voice was a little hoarse. "So, Celestial Emperor deliberately didn't kill me, but he wants to force me into a dead end?" "That's right." Yang Shun smiled faintly and said, "Besides, why would he want to kill you? You helped him do what he wanted to do. Why would he want to kill you? You killed the catacombs martial artists, the ancient martial artists, the emperors. Which one of them didn't help him complete the hope of annihilating martial arts? At the end, he will kill you. It will save him a lot of trouble. Don't tell me you can match him?" Fang Ping frowned. The sun god said again, "If he's really working with the seeds, then he might know that you were created by Zhan and the others. Maybe he's been waiting for you all this time. You can use your strength to fight your own. It's just nice. How much trouble will it save him?" Yang Shin laughed and said, "Zhan, they may not be plotting against you. That old guy may be using your power to accomplish something. Furthermore, you can take advantage of the situation. He doesn't have to do anything. All he has to do is sit and wait for you to do the work." Fang Ping's gaze was icy cold. The owner of the system, Heavenly Emperor Zhan, was dead. He did not have the time and energy to plot against Fang Ping. However, that person might really be borrowing power. He might not have known what Heaven Arch Zhan had done, but now that the seed knew, Heaven Arch might know. The young god smiled again and said, "I was a little confused before. The three emperors have revived, and the Great Way has reappeared. Why is the seed so excited? Now I understand. Boy, if it cooperates with the Celestial Emperor, then it has a reason. The three emperors have revived, and the seed also wants to find the Great Tao." "No." Yang Shin was stunned for a moment. Damn, since Zhan can calculate this, could it be that this guy has already discovered this? Zhan had foreseen the revival of their Taos and the emergence of the seeds. That was why he borrowed power. He borrowed the young god's power and the seed's power to release Fang Ping. Could it be that Zhan already knew all this? Fang Ping also suspected that Zhan might really know. Otherwise, why would he find a different immortal source in Heavenly Battle Palace? Since he could guess it, Zhan had been observing all this time. He might have guessed it long ago. If that was the case, why didn't Zhan tell the 9 emperors about this himself? "Ooh," Fang Ping murmured. Zhan actually looked forward to such a world. Could it be that he was conflicted? Because the existence of the 9 emperors was indeed a big problem. On one hand, he was conflicted because the 9 emperors was his teacher and his good friend. On the other hand, he did not want a large number of powerhouses to be born and cause countless killings. That was why he was caught in a dilemma. Fang Ping was conflicted at this moment. He now realized that Zhan's suicide might contain a lot of things, including escaping everything. Maybe Zhan was tired of it, but he was afraid to see the final scene of no martial arts. He also hoped that this scene would happen. That was why in the midst of his struggle, he chose to die without fighting. Bastard, scholars are so annoying. Fong Ping suddenly scolded. He was also a scholar and a martial artist, but Zhan, this kind of scholar whose thoughts were so complicated that he could not sense them, was the most troublesome. This time, Yangshin echoed, nodded, and said, "That's right, scholars are so annoying. Zhan will die if he doesn't die. If he doesn't, I want to kill him too." Fong Ping asked in surprise, "Why did you kill him? Zhan didn't offend you, did he?" Yangshin rolled his eyes and said angrily, "If he found out but didn't tell me, doesn't that mean that he actually wants to kill me? Why not kill this kind of person?" Fong Ping curled his lips and said casually, "If you want to destroy martial arts, of course, you have to kill powerhouses. How normal is that? If you want to destroy martial arts, Yangshin couldn't avoid it. Therefore, Yangshin had to die." Fong Ping suddenly said, "Right, the seed seems to be recovering the power of beginners." "Recovering?" Yangshin murmured, nodded slightly, and said, "It's normal. If it's to destroy martial arts, it's normal to recover power. But now the power of the three realms comes from it. I haven't seen it recover other people's power or beginners." After thinking for a while, Yangshin said, "Maybe the first batch of power is a little different from the later ones. The origin can be recovered through the source, but the beginners can't. It can either be killed or forcibly recovered." Yangshin thought for a while and suddenly said, "Maybe there are other factors." Yangshin suddenly stood up, paced around for a while, and murmured, "Actually, the seed can't take the initiative to kill people, but it's the source of power of the three realms. I've been thinking about what limits it from taking the initiative to kill people. Could it be related to the power given to beginners by the first batch?" Yangshin murmured to himself, "There's this possibility. Maybe the first batch of power it gave to beginners was mixed with something that limited it. It created the source to recover these powers. 36 levels of heaven, 36 powerhouses that were given power by it. That old guy, Celestial Emperor, might also be its target for recovery. Cooperating with the seed is like asking a tiger for its skin. But that guy should know what he's thinking. Or, that old guy, Celestial Emperor, the power of the beginners was actually taken away back then?" Thinking of this, Yangshin's eyes moved slightly. "Maybe there aren't many people left. Dark Heavenly Arm, Huan. Huan actually broke through 8 later. In fact, the only beginners alive now who have received the seed's power are Heavenly Arm and Dark. The others, including Xiong, have already fallen into the source. If the seed recovers its power, it will only look for these 2 people." Fong Ping frowned. Qin Fengqing had indeed gone to look for Heavenly Arm before, but it seemed that he did not make a move. Were Dark God and Heavenly Arm also the seed's targets? Yangshin exhaled and quickly smiled. "Whatever the seed, some of my power is also given by it back then. If it doesn't take back my power, it'll still be the same." After he said this, Fong Ping laughed. "Senior, you're actually in more danger than I am now. Celestial Emperor wants to kill you and take away the power of the source. The seed wants to kill you and take away the power given to you during the beginner's era. The seed and Celestial Emperor actually want to kill you. Maybe in their eyes, we're just incidental. Their real target is actually you, Senior, who asked you to be so strong that you're almost turning the 3 realms into the world of the living. That makes sense." Yangshin also sighed. "This person is too strong. There's no other way. He's so outstanding that everyone is jealous of him. Even the seed is jealous of me. What can I do?" Fong Ping was speechless. How thick-skinned. But then again, he was almost the same as me. Of course, this old fellow was really qualified to say that. An invincible powerhouse who almost dominated the 3 realms. "Senior, aren't you worried at all?" "Of course I am." Yangshin sucked the coconut dry in one gulp, threw the coconut shell away, and said angrily, "I didn't do anything. How dare you plot against me? You don't want to live." He was aggressive. Fong Ping was secretly pleased. This was great. He had finally pulled an invincible powerhouse to attack together. Unexpectedly, after he was done being angry, Yangshin suddenly sat down and continued to pick up a coconut to drink. He said weakly, "But I don't want to move now. Actually, it's quite fun here. Celestial Emperor borrows force to fight force. I can do it too. Jean doesn't want to do it himself. I don't want to move either. Jean chose you. Celestial Emperor is also watching you. You're also related to the seed. Interesting, interesting. As he said that, Yang Xin looked at Fong Ping and chuckled. You don't want to sit and wait for death either. That's good. That's good. How about this? If you don't want to die, and you don't want your whole family to die, then you must go and fight. You go and kill some people first. In the end, when you're beaten to death, I'll see if there's anyone else that can be used. It's best if you don't do it yourself. It's too troublesome. Fong Ping was stunned. What kind of theory was this? Someone had come knocking on his door and wanted to kill him. Yet, he found it troublesome and was unwilling to do it? Yang Shun glared at him. What do you know? There are only 3 invincible powerhouses like us in the entire 3 realms. Celestial Emperor, and the Seed. Those 2 don't do it themselves. You want me to do it myself? Where can I put my old face? I don't want my face. They have subordinates to do the work, but I don't. Isn't the town at the source? Aren't you still alive? You guys fight with their subordinates first. Kill their subordinates, or their subordinates kill you. When that time comes, it'll be our turn. If you want me to do it now, won't I lose face for nothing? Fong Ping was stunned again. You want to be the finale? The point is, when did I become your subordinate? But what Yang Xin said seemed to be right. Could he not fight back and resist? If his subordinates fought, of course his subordinates would fight. There seemed to be nothing wrong with this. Fong Ping was in a daze. Why did this old fellow feel like he was even lazier than that cat? Kid, don't slander me. This is the prestige of a powerhouse. Yang Shun seemed to know what he was thinking. He sneered and said lazily, All right, I know what's going on. You should go. Don't come to me if there's nothing else. When it's time to make a move, I'll naturally make a move. You guys can solve your own problems. You don't have to worry about the big shots like us. That attitude, that tone, made Fong Ping want to kill him. Was this guy really the powerhouse who was worried about the human race? Fong Ping remembered that in the video recorded by Heavenly Wood, this guy still wanted the subduing king to protect the human race. Since you don't care about the life and death of the human race, why did you ask the subduing king to protect the human race back then? Yang Xin yawned and said, Nonsense. When I stay in the human world, people come to sweep every day, again and again. Don't you find it troublesome? It's fine if it's a powerhouse, but even small fries come. As a big shot, do I have to step on those ants myself every time? I ask him to guard the gate. If there are small ants, he can step on them. If he really can't kill them, then I'll come out and send them away. Yang Xin's expression was one of surprise. He said casually, that Gaijin was like a bird back then. He was arrogant and unruly. If others praised him a little, he would go to heaven. He didn't walk the path of beginner martial arts, but he insisted on walking the path of combining 2 paths. I'll flatter him a little and praise him a little. Then I'll send him to the human world to guard the gate for me and hone his temper. It's not bad. This guy just lacks the cruel beating of society. After 8,000 years, he's been beaten by society many times. Isn't he obedient now? Fong Ping's mouth opened wide. He was suddenly a little speechless. These words are actually suitable for you. It seemed that this old guy really did not deviate from the 3 realms. He even said that he lacked the cruel beating of society. He wondered how Heavenly King Jin felt after hearing this. Yang Shun was a little impatient. All right, you can go now. Do you want to take away the power left by the 3 emperors? Did you discover the problem with the immortal source? At the immortal source? He seemed to have guessed this. He yawned and said, I know, you can go and grab it yourself. The spirit is guarding. You can leave after you grab it. I'm too lazy to come out. However, those people have to go through the 3 gates to attack. When the time comes, I'll shake heaven and earth. The moment the 3 gates shake, you can run by yourself. There's no need for me to do anything. As long as the immortal source isn't damaged, they won't bother to chase after you. Just delay them for a while. The rest is up to you. He could shake the origin and the 3 gates, because he was the one who absorbed the power of these areas back then. The old guy's power was terrifying. Naturally, he could stop those people for a moment. Fong Ping did not get his promise to help fight against the Celestial Emperor. but it was not without gain. Yangshin had also said that when the big shots made a move, he would naturally come out. Obviously, the big shots he was talking about were the Celestial Emperor and the Seeds. Fong Ping had a plan. What he had to do now was to deal with the Emperor God and his group. The key was that this group of people was not easy to deal with. The old guy is so arrogant. Fong Ping cursed in his heart. Just you wait and see. Sooner or later, he would let you know what it was like to be beaten by society. However, Fong Ping was still satisfied. The difficulty of seizing the system's main body had been greatly reduced. Other than Spirit Emperor, other people would probably be stopped if they intervened. This was an opportunity. This time, he did not come in vain. He had also unearthed the truth of these 30,000 years. Chapter 1452. 9 Heavens. Fong Ping returned once again. Seeing Fong Ping's arrival, Wan and Sherpa were extremely excited. They almost cried. Fong Ping finally came. If he did not come, they would have been scared to death. Spirit Emperor was right beside them, but they could not escape. How tragic. Luckily, Spirit Emperor was not in the mood to care about them. Even so, they were scared out of their wits. Fong Ping was speechless. Wasn't Sherpa very arrogant? He teased Spirit Emperor just now, and now he was scared like this? Spirit Emperor saw Fong Ping coming again. She opened her eyes and frowned. This guy was here again. Fong Ping smiled, pointing at the immortal source. I am taking something. I will leave after I get it. I am not interested in destroying the immortal source. Do you want to make way? Spirit Emperor did not speak. Fong Ping said again, I have broken through the immortal source. Heaven Emperor can fight me to the death. I do not need to do this. I am not strong enough to kill Heaven Emperor. The immortal source can help me by some time, so I will not destroy it. What do you think? Fong Ping saw that she still did not speak. He was a little impatient. Then I will let Ash Cat come to get it. Can you do me a favor? Spirit Emperor finally spoke. Immortal source, do not go near. No one. Fong Ping squinted. A cold light flashed in his eyes. Spirit Emperor, we have no grudges. I said I will leave after I get something. I will not go near. Why do you want to make things difficult for me? Spirit Emperor was silent. No way. Since Heaven Emperor asked her to guard the immortal source, then other than Heaven Emperor, even if other emperors came, she would not give way. Then go and die. Fong Ping did not have the patience to talk nonsense with Spirit Emperor. The long saber slashed across the sky and earth, slashing down. Since you do not give way, then there is no need for me to be polite. The immortal source would be destroyed sooner or later, but not now. Right now, he still needed to rely on the immortal source to buy time. Spirit Emperor understood, but she did not give way. Why would Fong Ping talk nonsense with her? Bang! Spirit Emperor did not say a word, holding her sword and attacking again. This time, Fong Ping was stronger than before. Killing intent swept across the sky and earth, shaking the 9 heavens. The Spirit Emperor had suffered a small loss last time, so he didn't dare to be careless this time. He split his sword into 10,000 swords, focusing on defense instead of offense. His defense was airtight. Tens of thousands of small swords formed a large formation, defending against the immortal source. This caused Sherpa and Luan, who originally wanted to have some thoughts, to give up. The aftermath of their battle had swept through the 9 heavens. It would be very troublesome for them to stay here any longer. At this moment, the 9 heavens had been torn apart. Sherpa and Luanguan couldn't take advantage of the situation. They could only sullenly escape into the 8 heavens and wait for an opportunity to make their move. At this moment, someone from the 8th heaven had also arrived. Demon Emperor, King Qian, these broken 8s had all come here. King Wu and the others had all arrived. Everyone looked at the 9th heaven that had been pierced through, and then looked at Fong Ping suppressing the Spirit Emperor, causing the latter to retreat in defeat again and again. They all sighed. A long saber slashed down again and again. Fong Ping was like a ferocious beast that did not know fatigue. His face was ice cold, and the Spirit Emperor had no choice but to retreat. Fong Ping is getting stronger. At this moment, Fong could not help but sigh. Emperors, They had been pursuing the goal for a lifetime. Now, Fong Ping was suppressing the spirit emperor, and Emperor Nan was killed on the spot. The three realms was getting weirder and weirder. The demon emperor frowned slightly. There are many emperors at the source. Even if Fong Ping can defeat the spirit emperor, it will be useless. Killing an emperor was not very useful now. Before this, they thought that the gap between the 9 emperors was not big. Later, when the emperor god showed his power, they realized that the gap was not small, but very big. These people were all waiting for the right opportunity. No one would give up. Not only them. Even Li Zhu in the Sea of Bitterness would not give up. Li Zhu's Tao was not separated from the source of immortality. He was also waiting for the right opportunity, the source of origin. Although Fong Ping had shattered the observation point, at this moment, the scene reappeared. The earthly king watched for a while and exclaimed, "He has improved again. So fast. Qiong, are you really not going to make a move? Aren't you afraid that this guy will become our killer?" No one paid attention to him. The 36th heaven. The Emperor God was not alone. There was another one, the Emperor of Heaven Reverse. The two were playing chess at the moment. The black and white chess pieces kept falling. The Emperor of Heaven Reverse put down a black chess piece and smiled. "You have improved again." "Yes." The Emperor God did not continue the conversation. The Emperor of Heaven Reverse chuckled. "Not enough. That won't do. Should we give him some benefits?" The Emperor God looked up at him and said indifferently, "You are blindly giving him benefits. Do you really think that guy is stupid? We cannot give away benefits for no reason. He might have noticed something." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse grinned. "Why don't we do a good deed and give him some real blood?" The Emperor God frowned and shook his head. "Don't rush for instant benefits. Take it slow. The speed of Fong Ping's improvement is also beyond my expectation. But we are just going with the flow. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work out. Don't ruin our plan because of him." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse heaved a sigh and put down another chess piece. Will that guy make a move? Also, Fong Ping loses control easily. Once he becomes stronger, it doesn't matter. The Emperor God said lightly, "No matter how strong he is, he cannot be stronger than us in a short time. It doesn't matter if the others are killed. Don't worry too much. When he becomes stronger, the first thing he will do is to break through the source of immortality. He won't fight with us before that." "It's hard to say." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse whispered, "This guy is not a man who follows the rules. He knows that once the source of immortality is broken, that person will not let him go. Killing us first may be his first choice." The Emperor God chuckled. "Then let's take a gamble. Will he break the source of immortality first, or will he come after us first? If he breaks the source of immortality first, then he will be going against that person. If he comes after us first, then we will have miscalculated and we will have to bear the consequences." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse nodded. The Emperor God threw him a look and said with a faint smile, "I am curious. Can he really reach that step in such a short time? He is not completely out of the source of immortality yet." "I don't know. It depends on luck. Anyway, it's not a trap set by us." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse grinned. "I am just going with the flow." The two of them chatted as they played. As for the war in the 9th heaven, they did not care. At this moment, the source of immortality was shaking. The Emperor God looked up and sneered. "Is he trying to bait us into making a move? It's just a fruitive way that suppresses spirits. How come he is not doing what he wants? Isn't he looking down on us?" The Emperor of Heaven Reverse grinned, but did not answer. He changed the topic. "Should we deal with Xian and Beast first?" The Emperor God shook his head. "Let's leave it to fate. One of them is watching Fong Ping, and the other is watching the town. If they want to get rid of the Emperor God, they will not be able to do so without killing a few emperors. I don't think Xian and Beast are enough. We need at least one more." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse raised his eyebrows. "Not necessarily. There are several new emperors." "That's true." The Emperor God grinned. Then his expression changed. "The speed of the vitality seed is not fast enough. Out of the 4 seeds, 3 are broken. They are trying to lure Fong Ping to break the seed." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse frowned. "If the seed is broken, the speed of the immortality will be faster. I know, but the fact that the seed was not broken has already aroused that guy's suspicion. Tell Beast the location of the seed, and then tell Fong Ping. Leave the seed to Beast. Dragon transformation is his descendant. Even if that guy suspects, he will believe it. The Emperor God placed a chess piece. The black pieces were eliminated. The Emperor God said calmly, "If Fong Ping encounters Beast and collects the seed, do you think he will kill Beast? If he kills Beast, he will have a chance to get rid of the source land. I'm worried that he cannot find Beast's fruit of way." The Emperor of Heaven reverse grinned. Isn't it too obvious to tell him where Beast's fruit of way is? If he can't find it, can't Cat? The Emperor God did not mind. Cat is from the source land. He can sense the fluctuation of fruit of way. Last time, Celeste was one step slower than Cat. So, there is no need to worry about this. The Emperor of Heaven reverse said, "With what happened last time, won't that guy be cautious this time? He doesn't care about killing Beast, but he will not let Fong Ping take the fruit of way." The Emperor God thought for a while. Move the blood seed closer to the sixth heaven guarded by Beast. Back then, I gave the blood seed to Dragon Transformation to frame Beast. Ling and Hao both know about it. That guy probably knows about it too. He might have guessed that I did it. But Dragon Transformation is my disciple, and the blood seed was exposed to Ling and Hao. I don't think he is sure if I did it. The Emperor God smiled. Once Beast is dead, he will definitely stop us. When the fruit of way is broken, one of us will have to expose ourselves. The Emperor God thought for a while and said with a smile, "Not necessarily. Let Ji and Hong stop him. Even if you and I don't do anything, he will still be suspicious. Once he is suspicious, even if the celestial source is not fully mature, he may take action in advance." The Emperor God said with a smile, "It's pardonable if I don't do anything. As for you," the Emperor of Heaven reverse grinned. "It's okay. The Tao of War has been exposed. That day, let the Tao of War shake again. I will go and meet the four emperors. I am their big brother. It is normal that I don't care about Fong Ping." The Emperor God nodded. The two talked for a while and then continued playing chess. As for the battle in Ninth Heaven, the two did not take it seriously. Success or failure, it was not important. Whether Fong Ping was strong or weak, he was an unexpected pawn in the game. It would be best if he could make a difference. If not, it was not a big deal. At this moment, Fong Ping was still unaware of all this. Otherwise, he would be shocked and then cursed. They were all schemers. The Emperor God and the Emperor of Heaven reverse wanted him to become stronger. If he became stronger and broke through the celestial source, he would have to compete with Celestial Emperor. The stronger Fong Ping was, the better. If he fought with Celestial Emperor, it would be an opportunity for others. The celestial source was not mature. It was not because there were not enough powerhouses. It was because the four seeds were divided. The purpose of the four seeds was not to escape, but to delay the celestial source's maturation. To give some people more time to prepare. Only a few people were qualified to play this game of chess in the three realms. At this moment, Fong Ping was still a pawn in their hands. Even if it was not planned by them, at this moment, all parties were borrowing power. Celestial Emperor was borrowing power. Emperor of Heaven reverse and the Emperor God were also borrowing power. The Sun God was also borrowing power. They were all using this pawn to stir up trouble. The 9 emperors, some of the weaker ones among the 9 emperors, were sacrificed as if Emperor Nan's death was not an accident, but a plan. Ninth Heaven. Fong Ping was indifferent. In an instant, thousands of swords were cut down one after another. The 1,000 swords array of the Spirit Emperor was broken. In the blink of an eye, thousands of wounds appeared on his body. Fong Ping's hands were cut by the sword energy. Before the red blood dripped, it turned into many Fong Pings, rushed to the Spirit Emperor, and exploded. The Spirit Emperor kept retreating, but Fong Ping was getting braver. The battle between the two of them became more and more brutal. Neither of them made a sound, but the battle became more and more intense. Fong Ping's body was covered with sword marks, and blood began to drip. Spirit Emperor looked even worse. Even his face was slashed by Fong Ping. Fong Ping couldn't be bothered to persuade someone as stubborn as Spirit Emperor. It was a waste of time. He had to either cripple her or kill her. Otherwise, he would not be able to get close to the celestial source. The fight was getting more and more intense. In the eighth heaven, everyone's eyes were shining. At this time, in the sea of bitterness, a figure rose into the air and appeared in the eighth heaven in the blink of an eye. Everyone was not surprised to see Li Zhu, who did not want to escape. It was normal for Li Zhu to find an opportunity. Li Zhu glanced at the battle in the ninth heaven and frowned slightly. He shook his head and sighed. The one guarding this place is the Spirit Emperor. Troublesome. If it was someone else, it would be easier. But if it was the Spirit Emperor, it would be more troublesome. At this moment, the Spirit Emperor's body was bone-chilling. Li Zhu suspected that if she was completely suppressed by Fong Ping, this woman might explode her emperor body and seriously injure Fong Ping. Although she would also die, the fruit was still there. At that time, it was hard to say who would be at a disadvantage. If it were the Beast Emperor and the others, they would have retreated long ago. Fong Ping breaking the celestial source would definitely not agree. It was better to let the celestial emperor handle it. As they were talking, a fat cat came through the void. Meow! A cat's cry shook the three realms. The Spirit Emperor's mentality trembled slightly. Fong Ping took the opportunity to close in, his saber not leaving the Spirit Emperor's head. Meow! The cat came through the void and shouted, "Liar! Leave it to me. Go and snatch the thing." Fong Ping frowned slightly and glanced at the cat that was rushing over. This cat was baring its fangs and claws as if it wanted to catch the Spirit Emperor. Fong Ping snorted and glanced at the Spirit Emperor. He quickly retreated and rushed toward the celestial source. But the Spirit Emperor came again and continued to fight with Fong Ping with a cold face. Meow! The cat shouted again. Seeing that the Spirit Emperor was ignoring it, it suddenly said angrily, "If you don't leave, I'll scratch you." The Spirit Emperor looked at it and said coldly, "Just do it." Meow! I don't have hands, only claws. The cat muttered and waved its claws, saying angrily, "What are you doing? Can't you just let me go?" Fong Ping snorted. "Big cat, this woman is already hopeless. You want to save her, but she won't appreciate it. I don't need anyone to save me." The Spirit Emperor shouted coldly, "Besides, you're so sure that you can beat me. What a joke. And I don't need a stupid cat to save me. I've been feeding it for 10,000 years just to repair the lack of the celestial source." As soon as she finished speaking, the cat said angrily, "Big fatty, your words are not nice. Don't say any more." After saying that, the cat intercepted the Spirit Emperor again. At this moment, the cat did not even defend. It bared its fangs and claws and said, "Come on, kill this cat. This cat is a trash can. If you kill this cat, the celestial source will become even more trash." "I'm so angry that you don't dare to kill a cat." Fong Ping was stunned. The Spirit Emperor who was blocked was also stunned. Then, with a cold expression, she flicked the cat away with her sword. At this time, the cat's movements were frighteningly fast. In the blink of an eye, it appeared in front of her again. Like a ferocious tiger, its head grew bigger and crashed toward the Spirit Emperor. "Kill the cat. I'm not afraid." The Spirit Emperor was annoyed and flicked her sword at its head again. Bang! There was a loud sound. The cat shook its head, a little exasperated. "You hit my head again. You're bullying a cat. This cat will fight it out with you." As it spoke, it crashed toward the Spirit Emperor again. The Spirit Emperor was furious and suddenly stabbed with her sword. There was a thud. This sword directly pierced through the cat. The sword pierced through the cat. The Spirit Emperor flicked her long sword, wanting to flick the cat away. At this moment, a long saber silently slashed down at her head. The Spirit Emperor was in great danger. On the long sword, the cat that was pierced through whimpered, "Don't kill Big Fatty." Blood flowed. Along the long sword, scarlet blood dripped down. Fong Ping's face was livid. He slashed sideways with his saber, and with a thud, he cut off the Spirit Emperor's right arm. The right arm exploded, and the long sword fell. Fong Ping stretched out his left hand and grabbed the cat's neck, knocking the long sword away. He frowned and shouted, "Are you stupid? Do you really believe that this woman won't attack you?" The cat felt wronged. The wound that was pierced through was difficult to heal at this moment. The tearing effect of the Spirit Emperor's sword was not bad. Not far away, the Spirit Emperor did not make a sound. She grew another arm, and the long sword returned. In an instant, she appeared near the immortal source, blocking Fong Ping's path again. The cat turned to look at her and said pitifully, "Then I'll go get the things. Don't fight with the liar, okay?" The Spirit Emperor did not speak. Below, in 8th level heaven, Lindsay suddenly roared, "Aunt, do you really want to kill the cat and me? Just for him?" The Spirit Emperor's eyes were cold. The long sword pierced through the 9th level heaven and instantly headed toward Lindsay. King Wu and the others frowned and attacked. Lindsay, however, raised her head and said angrily, "You've already done enough. What else do you want? Yes, he saved the tribe, saved all of us. You are grateful to him. You love him. Understands all of this. He even taught you martial arts so that you have enough strength to protect the tribe, to protect the family. But in the end, the tribe was still destroyed in the battle 30,000 years ago. If it wasn't for him, why did you participate in the battle for the throne? If it wasn't for that, the tribe would not have been destroyed. It's been 30,000 years. My father is dead. My grandfather is dead. The tribe has long been destroyed. Even the sisters in the Spirit Emperor Palace are dead. What else do you want? Haven't you repaid the kindness of saving my life and teaching me?" Lin Zi's tears flowed. "You want to kill me, right? Then kill me. He's been using you all this time. Aunt, do you really not know?" "Shut up." A clear shout rang out. Lin Zi's 7 orifices were bleeding, but she did not care at this moment. She shouted angrily, "Why do you have to shut up? It's been 30,000 years. I've repaid everything that needs to be repaid. Or did you fall in love with him a long time ago?" "How dare you?" A clear shout rang out again. At this moment, Fong Ping sneered and said, "You really don't care about me. I was wondering what was going on. It's just some **T. And I've heard everything." Before he finished speaking, Fong Ping suddenly split into dozens of clones, surrounding the Spirit Emperor. Not only that, at this moment, a world appeared around the Spirit Emperor. It was faintly discernible. "Stubborn, then I'll kill you." Boom! The world stabilized. At this moment, the Spirit Emperor fell directly into Fong Ping's source world. "Thunder come!" Fong Ping growled. Thunder death bombarded the Spirit Emperor wildly. "Fire come!" Buzz! The flames that could burn heaven and earth enveloped the Spirit Emperor, burning him until he was bathed in blood. The Spirit Emperor wielded his sword and attacked Fong Ping again. At this moment, his whole body was full of vigor, as if he was about to self-destruct and blow up Fong Ping's source world. "You're really ruthless. You want to destroy me like this? You don't even need to ask the Celestial Emperor if he agrees." Fong Ping shouted coldly. At this moment, he suddenly disappeared from the source world. The source world disappeared. The next moment, a ball fell into Fong Ping's hand. Fong Ping's real body appeared, holding the ball in his hand. At this moment, the ball was shaking and even making a series of creaking sounds. The Spirit Emperor was destroying it, trying to destroy the source world. Not only that, the violent energy began to shake in the source world. The Spirit Emperor realized that he was trapped in the source world and could not break the source world in a short time. He actually wanted to self-destruct and blow up Fong Ping's source world. The source world was fragile. If an emperor as strong as the Spirit Emperor really wanted to self-destruct, Fong Ping could not guarantee that his brain would not be shattered. Luring the Spirit Emperor into the source world was also a risky move. But Fong Ping did not care. With a sneer, suddenly, he smashed the ball toward the source world. "Don't you want to guard the source world for the Celestial Emperor? Self-destruct. Today, I'll see if you're really crazy or just pretending to be crazy. Blow up my source world and blow up the source world." I'll see if you dare to do it. Kaboom! The ball smashed into the huge source world. Right on top of the source world, the originally violent energy suddenly calmed down. Fong Ping sneered. At this moment, he moved quickly, grabbing the body of the system that he had observed previously. But his hands seemed to be holding nothing. Beside him, the cat saw this and said happily, "Liar, let's go quickly." The thing was obtained. The Spirit Emperor was trapped. He did not choose to self-destruct because he was afraid of destroying the source world. But if Fong Ping really wanted to destroy the source world, the Spirit Emperor might really self-destruct. This woman's attitude was very obvious. Fong Ping did not reply. At this moment, he glanced at the blood vessels. There were as many as the hair on a cow. There were too many to count. These were all controlled Daos. Some of the Daos were very thick. There were Tiangos, Lijus. The ball shook again. Seeing that Fong Ping did not leave, the Spirit Emperor suddenly became furious and began to attack and destroy the source world again. Fong Ping licked his lips. At this moment, he really wanted to smash the source world. But he knew that many people were watching him now. If he really smashed it, someone would definitely stop him. Actually, he could not break the source world. And if he really did break it, then the Great War of the Three Realms would break out soon. He would not have time to continue to become stronger. But now, Fong Ping was indeed very angry. He did not care what the Spirit Emperor thought. But this woman was really crazy. She even wanted to attack her own niece, Lindsay. She pierced through the cat and wanted to kill Lindsay. She also tried to stop him again and again. He hated the Spirit Emperor. This kind of hatred made him unwilling to give up. The next moment, Fong Ping suddenly retracted the sphere, breaking the origin universe with one strike. The next moment, he appeared in the origin universe. He chuckled. "Heroes of the Three Realms, it's up to you to break the control of the Daos." As soon as he said that, the Spirit Emperor appeared. At this moment, the Spirit Emperor's hair was disheveled. She glanced at Fong Ping coldly and ignored him. She broke the source world and was about to return to ninth heaven. But how could Fong Ping let her do as she wished? He held his saber and slashed down quickly. Both sides quickly engaged in a fierce battle in the source world. Eighth heaven. Everyone was tempted. The Spirit Emperor was entangled. Should they go to the source world? Even Li Zhu's eyes were shining. The opportunity was right in front of them. If they missed it, there might not be another chance. And Fong Ping, who brought the Spirit Emperor into the source world, did not do it to create an opportunity for Li Zhu and the others. He just wanted to let the Spirit Emperor know what betrayal was. Spirit Emperor, the source world is moving. You are about to be killed. Do you think the Celestial Emperor will save you or the source world? Fong Ping sneered. Suddenly, his vitality erupted. With a rumble, his combat strength was fully restored. And in the blink of an eye, there were Fong Pings everywhere. These Fong Pings quickly attacked the Spirit Emperor. The Spirit Emperor snorted. A clone wanted to kill her? Dream on. Ridiculous. Boom. The clones exploded, but it did not do anything to the Spirit Emperor. These clones were not strong. But was Fong Ping the kind of person who would do useless things? While the Spirit Emperor was about to continue tearing the void and leave, suddenly, a clone exploded. Rumble. This loud sound shook the entire source world. The clone that Fong Ping had forged last time, the one with the Dao Tree Royal Core, suddenly exploded among the other clones. This time, the explosion caused the Spirit Emperor to stagger. Fong Ping had been waiting for this opportunity. Extremely fast, he slashed at the Spirit Emperor's head. When the Spirit Emperor's long sword came, Fong Ping was suddenly wrapped by a ball, like armor protecting his whole body. Holding the long sword, he slashed. With a splat, the Spirit Emperor's head fell. The long sword also hit the ball with a bang, but it failed again, unable to break the ball. At this moment, Li Zhu and the others moved. With a rumble, the ninth heaven was broken. The source world was right in front of them. At this moment, no one in the source world made a move. Li Zhu's eyes flashed. Suddenly, he grabbed the thick Dao above the source world. That was his Dao. He wanted to strip it. The Celestial Emperor would make a move. He was gambling on whether the Celestial Emperor would deal with him or Fong Ping. Across the source world, suppressing the crack, even if the Celestial Emperor was extremely powerful, there must be a limit at this moment. He judged that the Celestial Emperor could at most attack one person. I will only strip my Tao, not destroy the source world, Li Zhu shouted, also telling the Celestial Emperor that he would only take his Tao, not others, so all the more he should deal with Fong Ping. Sigh. At this moment, a sigh sounded. A hand pierced through heaven and earth, suddenly appearing in front of the source world. With a light flick, with a bang, Li Zhu flew backward, smashing through the ninth heaven, quickly falling into the bitter sea. In the source world, Fong Ping had cut off the Spirit Emperor's head. At this moment, he slashed down, about to destroy the Spirit Emperor's body. Fong Ping sneered. Seems like he did not choose you. Although he would not die, if his body was destroyed, it would not be so easy for the Spirit Emperor to revive. Childish. However, at this moment, the Spirit Emperor's head sneered with disdain. Childish tricks. What can this prove? The Spirit Emperor snorted coldly again, her body suddenly burning. She was not Fong Ping's opponent, and she had been injured by Fong Ping's clone, giving Fong Ping the upper hand. At this moment, she did not care whether the Celestial Emperor would save her or not. In the blink of an eye, she was about to self-destruct her body. Seeing this, Fong Ping cursed, quickly tearing apart the source world to escape. And the burning Spirit Emperor's body stopped burning, the head quickly reconnecting to the body, quickly returning to its original state. Frowning slightly, she tore apart the source world again, appearing in the ninth heaven in the blink of an eye. The escaping Fong Ping was not afraid of her self-destruction, but felt that it was not worth exchanging injuries for. Fong Ping frowned, rubbing his chin, looking up at the ninth heaven. The Celestial Emperor's finger had already disappeared. Fong Ping said strangely, "Strange, did Celestial Emperor plan a coup on this woman?" Logically speaking, if they were in a romantic relationship, wouldn't he go crazy if he did not save her? Why does it feel like there is no effect? He was really curious. What was the situation between the Spirit Emperor and the Celestial Emperor? The Celestial Emperor might have the ability to save both sides, but in order to pretend that he was suppressing the crack, he definitely would not save both sides. Why did the Spirit Emperor not change? He thought that if the Celestial Emperor did not save her, she would go crazy. Could it be that she really fell in love with the Celestial Emperor? So melodramatic? I don't understand. Fong Ping looked confused. Forget it, he could not understand women. As long as he got the thing, it was fine. He was just a little confused about the Spirit Emperor's attitude, but it did not matter. P.S. There are only 2 chapters left. The book is almost finished, but it's still a bit of a headache. Slowly, I'll try to read the first part, fill in the gaps that can be filled in, so as to avoid too many loopholes. Chapter 1453. Earth. Fong Ping had been holding something in his hand, but Zhang Tao could not see or sense it. He could only feel that Fong Ping was holding something. Fong Ping did not hesitate to fight Spirit Emperor and did not destroy the immortal source. He insisted on taking something from the immortal source. What was it? Zhang Tao was curious. Beside him, Old Wang and the other 2 felt it was strange too. However, they could vaguely feel something. There was something in Fong Ping's hand. It seemed to be related to them. Is this the system itself? Fong Ping embedded the combat heavenly palace into his forehead and activated something like a third eye. Only then could he see what the thing in his hand looked like. It was a small pure white ball. It was not too complicated. Of course, Fong Ping did not take it apart. Was this the system? Fong Ping was sure that this was the system. When he took the thing from the immortal source, the origin simulation function on the system disappeared. This also meant that Fong Ping could no longer use the system to forcefully break through other people's origins. Of course, for the current Fong Ping, this function was not essential. This should be considered a divine weapon. Fong Ping sensed it and came to a conclusion. This was probably a divine weapon, a somewhat special one. It stored a large amount of the 3 Emperors' power. pure power and unsourced power, including a large amount of origin energy. It was relatively easy to make, and the function was not complicated. The foundation of all power was mentality, vitality, force, and so on. Therefore, it could be converted into imperishable substances, celestiality, and so on. Well system. Fong Ping picked up the ball and studied it. How did the well system work? How did it predict danger? How did it connect to him? Danger prediction, well system, they might all be converted through me. The system might have embedded some sort of probing device in his body, detecting danger, even sensing some of his thoughts. Wealth was generated based on one's thoughts. Detecting danger also required strong mentality to sense it. If there was a front-end device in his body, it might be something related to mentality. Only by relying on mentality to detect and analyze, including detecting the changes in his body's data, could he perform real-time sensing. I've checked many times. I've even self-destructed my body, but I've never found the existence of these things. Where is the front-end device? Fong Ping fell into deep thought. Although Heavenly Battle Emperor was dead, Fong Ping did not want anyone to monitor him all the time. Even if the master was dead, the system's monitoring would not work. Where is it? It was unlikely that it was in his body. So could it be in his brain? The brain nucleus was half real and half illusory, but it had always existed. Even aspiring martial artists had brain nuclei, but they could not materialize them. Without a brain nucleus and spiritual power, a person would be in a vegetative state or simply dead. Therefore, if there was a front-end detection device, it was most likely to be in the brain. Through the brain nucleus, he could sense some of his thoughts, convert wealth, materialize data, and perform crisis detection. This was in line with the changes in the system panel. When the system first appeared, it wasn't like this. There were no data units. Vitality was not card, and mentality was not hertz. It was only after Fong Ping came into contact with them that the system added these data units and displayed them. This meant that the detection device could only sense the existence of these things when Fong Ping came into contact with them. During the conversion of wealth, if Fong Ping did not know the value of some things, he would not calculate them in time. He would only calculate them after he knew the value. Therefore, it was more proof that the thing was in Fong Ping's body. Not only can this thing detect my body's condition, but it can also transmit energy. There must be a connection with the system itself. A ball appeared in Fong Ping's hand again. The brain nucleus. The left hand was the brain nucleus, and the right hand was the system itself. Fong Ping's mentality overflowed, sensing the connection and passageway that existed. He guessed that the thing must be in the brain nucleus. He had actually melted the brain nucleus once before, but Fong Ping still did not find anything there. It could be seen that Heavenly Battle Emperor, who put the system in his body, was still shocking even after his death. It was terrifyingly powerful. After looking for a while and not finding anything, Fong Ping suddenly condensed a gush of mentality. It was condensed through the system's wealth. At this time, the system itself flickered indiscernibly. The others could not see the change at all. Fong Ping, on the other hand, felt the changes. The ball flickered, and some mentality condensed on his brain nucleus. There seemed to be a passageway in the void, carrying out energy transmission. Fong Ping suddenly disappeared, entering the source world. Upon seeing this, Old Zhang and the others looked at each other. At this moment, they were all at a loss. "What's this guy doing?" Ironhead said with a strange expression. "He's playing with a ball alone." As he played, he disappeared. "What's he doing?" Old Zhang corrected him. "It's 2 balls. I only saw one." "That's because your eyesight isn't good." Old Zhang looked calm. Actually, he only saw one. But Fong Ping must be playing with 2. Ironhead looked at him suspiciously. "Did you see it, Director?" "Duh, of course I saw it." Ironhead looked at Old Wang and Yao Qingjun hesitantly, asking uncertainly, "How many balls?" 2. Old Wang replied mildly. Yao Qingjun nodded in agreement, but he did not say anything. Li Hansong was dumbfounded. "Were there really 2? All of you saw it?" Everyone ignored him. "Then why didn't I see it?" Li Hansong shook his head, wanting to rub his eyes. "That's not right. Why can't I see it?" His mentality overflowed, probing for a while. It was still one. Fong Ping was playing with it earlier, but what he saw was only playing with the air. He thought that no one saw it, but now it seemed like he was the only one who did not see it. What was going on? Li Hansong widened his eyes and looked again. His mentality overflowed and continued to sweep, but he still did not see it. Everyone, are there really two balls? Of course. Old Zhang looked at him in surprise. Old Wang and Old Yao also looked at him strangely, as if saying, "What's wrong with you? There are two balls. Didn't you see it? What's with that look?" They were extremely bored, so they did not mind teasing this guy. They were all good actors. At this moment, their expressions were so realistic that it was scary. Old Zhang grabbed the air casually, as if he had caught something in his hand. After observing the air for a while, he tossed it to Old Wang. "Wang Jinyang, can you see how this thing was made?" Old Wang reached out and took it. He frowned and observed for a while. He shook his head and threw it to Old Yao. "Old Yao, your mentality is strong. Take a look. This thing might be related to mentality." Yao Qingjun also took it and looked at it for a while. After a while, he said, "I can't tell. The God Creation Envoy is not here. If he is, he should be able to see something." At the side, Li Hansong's eyes were wide open. "I didn't see anything." His mentality swept again. It was still empty. However, these guys were all studying it. They had an attitude as if this thing was made too perfect. Obviously, they saw it. What was wrong with him? "This is related to the strength of mentality?" Li Hansong murmured. "Can't you see it just because your mentality is weak? This is too much of a bully." They were studying it with all their might. He could not even see it. This was too hurtful to his pride. Beside him, a cat yawned and shot a glance at Li Hansong. Big Idiot was really stupid. However, watching Fong Ping study something that he could not see was indeed very boring. The cat wanted to sleep. At this moment, the cat poked Li Hansong with its claws. Li Hansong turned his head to look at the cat. The cat smiled. "Do you want to see it? You have a way?" "Of course. My mentality is strong. I can help you activate the soul eye. When the time comes, you will be able to see it." Li Hansong thought for a while and nodded hurriedly. "I want to see it. I suddenly want to eat dried fish. There's no more. Go out and buy a cart, and I will teach you." Li Hansong looked at it suspiciously. "You really want to help me?" "Of course." Li Hansong saw the three of them studying it with great interest, but he could not see it. He was also depressed. Now that Fong Ping had disappeared again, it was even more boring. After thinking for a while, he suddenly got up and disappeared with a whoosh. He tore apart the void to buy dried fish. As soon as he left, everyone looked at each other and could not help but laugh. Yao Qingjun coughed softly. "Is it okay to play with him like this every time?" Old Wang said calmly. "We didn't say anything. We were just looking at the air. He took it seriously. What can we do?" They burst out laughing again. At the side, the cat looked at the three of them strangely. "What are you talking about? That ball is so fun. Didn't you see it? Isn't the fake human emperor in your hands?" Zhang Tao was dumbfounded. Was it a joke? When did he catch it? The cat stretched out its claws, as if taking something from his hands. It grabbed it with its claws and played with it for a while. It even tossed it up and waited for a while. Then, it said strangely, "This is it? Didn't you see it?" The few of them blinked. Was it for real? Old Zhang looked at the cat suspiciously. Was this cat playing with him? After a while, Ironhead returned. Carrying a big bag of dried fish, he said hurriedly, "Quick, let me see." The cat's mentality moved, condensing a soul eye on its forehead. Ironhead looked at its claws instantly and said in surprise, "This is it? It looks very ordinary. I couldn't see it before. Is it made by pure mentality?" As he said that, he took it from the cat's claws and pinched it. "Amazing. It feels like it doesn't exist. No wonder I didn't notice anything after you played with it for so long." This time, it was the three of them who were stunned. Did he really see it? The cat looked at the three of them strangely and suddenly grinned. Eating the dried fish, it said happily, "I still need 3 carts of dried fish." The three of them looked at each other, not knowing whether it was true or not. Seeing that Ironhead was playing with it, the three of them remained calm. Old Zhang's arm reached into the void, tore the void, and entered a supermarket. He grabbed a lot of things in an instant. He did not leave any money. He left an energy stone and disappeared. Old Wang and Iron Head did the same. In the blink of an eye, there was a big pile of food in front of the cat. The cat was delighted and opened its soul eye for the others. At this time, they saw a white ball in Iron Head's hands. They were a little surprised. It really existed. They had made a fool of themselves. The few of them observed enthusiastically. After a while, Fong Ping appeared. As soon as he appeared, Fong Ping looked at the four idiots strangely. They were staring at the air, and the cat was eating with relish. Cough! Fong Ping coughed softly. Iron Head held the air and chuckled. Fong Ping, what is this thing? Fong Ping was stunned. He looked at the point on his forehead where his mentality was concentrated and understood immediately. He grimaced. Idiots! After saying that, Fong Ping weighed the system in his hands that they could not see. He shrugged, his face helpless. Their expressions froze. Old Zhang glanced at the cat. The cat lowered its head and continued eating. Everyone looked at each other in silence. All right, they understood everything now. They were used to tricking people, but they were tricked by this cat. Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. What were these fellows doing? Old Zhang acted as if nothing had happened. He avoided the topic quietly and asked, "Did you find anything?" It was embarrassing. It was better not to mention it. This cat would be taught a lesson sooner or later. I found it. Fong Ping chuckled. Amazing. They say that the God-forging envoy is the strongest in blacksmithing. I don't think so. In the three realms, the strongest in blacksmithing should include Celestial Emperor and War. Celestial Emperor forged the Sanjiao Gate, connected to the immortal source, and modified the immortal source. The immortal source forged by the God-forging envoy was very different from the current one. The Sanjiao Gate was a magical thing. The fact that Celestial Emperor could forge this meant that his blacksmithing standard was very high. Celestial Emperor forged the system, which was also a magical treasure, including the Heavenly Battle Palace. It looked ordinary, but it could see things that many emperors could not. This also showed that Celestial Emperor's blacksmithing standard was very high. As Fong Ping said that something appeared in his hand again, everyone still could not see it. This was what Fong Ping found on the outer eggshell after exploring inch by inch in the source world. He found it through the Heavenly Battle Palace. It was like a chip, perfectly integrated with the brain nucleus. Fong Ping chuckled and suddenly threw the thing toward Old Zhang. Old Zhang sensed it but did not find anything. In addition, he believed that Fong Ping would not harm him, so he did not avoid it. The chip disappeared instantly. At this moment, Fong Ping was holding the ball that everyone could not see, his eyes moving slightly. As for Old Zhang, his vision blurred, and he was suddenly stunned. Vitality, 8 million Cal mentality, 98599 Hertz force, 0 Jade bones, 99%, with vitality qualitative change, combat techniques. Zhang Tao's educational record, plus 15%, origin increase. 265% Emperor Path Plus. Strength Control. 97% Maximum Vitality. 2948800 Cal /3040000 Cal. Old Zhang was stunned. Then he suddenly looked at Fong Ping and could not help but ask, "Is this what you had on you previously?" Fong Ping chuckled. "How does it feel?" Old Zhang licked his lips and exclaimed, "It's good stuff. This thing might not be very useful to us now, but if it was in the past when we were weak, it was really good stuff. We can completely understand our own state at any time." Martial artists are afraid of not understanding themselves. If they act recklessly, it will easily cause problems. It's really good stuff. Wrong? Who says it's not good stuff now? Fong Ping licked his lips. "Do you still have that mentality and vitality conversion function?" Zhang Tao was stunned. Then he looked carefully. Yes. This time his expression changed. Yes. It's good that you have it. Complete the balance and convert it into force. Fong Ping smiled brightly. This artifact is very powerful. I don't need to wear it all the time now. If you complete the balance through this conversion, vitality and mentality will reach the same level. Then you can carry out the force conversion. At that time, your strength should increase greatly. For emperors, for anyone, complete balance is too difficult to control. In this 3 realms, there are no more than 5 people who can do this. That's why Emperor Nan wants to develop the vitality restoration technique, and Emperor Dongwang wants his disciples to keep experimenting. I'm not sure about Emperor Shun in battle, but right now, in the 3 realms, I suspect that only Celestial Emperor Sun God and Emperor Donghuang can do it. Fong Ping exclaimed, "Battle did it. Using an artifact to do it." Old Zhang also swallowed. If everyone uses it, wouldn't it be? Don't even think about it. It consumes a lot. It looks like conversion, but it's actually consuming the energy stored in battle. The conversion of mentality and vitality consumed a lot of energy. Every single function of the system consumed energy. Especially this kind of balance conversion, it consumed a lot. Fong Ping had already noticed it. Even so, the system was still an extremely powerful artifact. If this thing was obtained by other emperors, if it could continue to provide conversion, then the emperor's strength would increase greatly. Converting it into origin power was equivalent to adding spiritual power and vitality power together. Not now. Mentality was mentality, and vitality force was vitality force. At this time, old Zhang also swallowed hard. Before this, he did not care about that function. Now that he thought about it, his eyes lit up. "Kid, no wonder you're so strong. I relied on myself to cultivate bit by bit. You kid completely relied on this. Shameless." Fong Ping sneered. "Don't blame society for being unlucky. It's your fault for having such poor aptitude that battle doesn't like you. What can I do?" Old Zhang was speechless. Then he looked at old Wang and said with some sourness, "Your ancestor is really extraordinary. Let's not talk about other things. Just this artifact alone is not an exaggeration to say that it's the #1 artifact in the 3 realms. Through the consumption of energy, to convert a person's vitality, force, and mentality. If it was effective on emperors, it should be effective. If Fong Ping could use it, emperors should be able to use it too. Although the consumption was not small, if he asked those emperors if they were willing to use it now, would they refuse? Balance was the most difficult. However, with this thing forcefully converting, then there would be a significant increase in strength. Fong Ping coughed softly. "Stop talking nonsense. Old Zhang, your basic vitality shouldn't be as strong as your mentality. Convert some of it into mentality and reach peak 99,999 hertz. I'll see if I can make you undergo a qualitative change. Once you reach 100,000 hertz, it will be 200,000 hertz instantly. Then convert it into vitality, then vitality into force. Your strength will skyrocket." As he said that, he frowned slightly. "I'm just afraid that you can't withstand the significant increase in strength. Also, will your Tao be compressed and broken? It shouldn't be. The Emperor Tao is very stable. It's completely different from other people's Tao." Old Zhang, on the other hand, felt that the Emperor Tao would not be compressed and broken. From Fong Ping's Tao, he understood that Fong Ping's physique was strong. His Tao would be compressed and broken a little. However, old Zhang felt that the suppression on the Emperor Tao would not be too strong. After all, this Tao did not belong to him alone. It belonged to the entire human race. "I'm afraid the mentality qualitative change will be quite difficult." Old Zhang's mentality was considered strong. It had been improving very quickly. With the support of the entire human race, it had reached more than 90,000 hertz. It was even stronger than vitality. However, if it was a qualitative change, if it was that simple, then the mentality qualitative change would not be the most difficult stage in Breaking 8. Fong Ping nodded slightly. The difficulty of his qualitative change previously was not small. However, Fong Ping smiled quickly. "It's okay. The other hostages will be in trouble. I don't think you'll be in big trouble. As long as you improve the human race's strength by a large margin, you will receive a reward. your strength will increase, and you might be able to skip this stage. Once the qualitative change is completed, 200,000 Hertz mentality plus nearly 10 million basic vitality. Once converted into force, it will be about 30 million calories basic vitality outburst. In addition to combat techniques, Tao. When the time comes, it will depend on Tao to see if it can still maintain such a huge increase. Breaking 8 was a process of unification. Overlord level would have a 2 times increase. Heavenly King would have a 3 times increase. Theoretically, breaking 8 would be 4 times. However, at this time, it would decrease and increase his own strength. Therefore, although old Zhang had broken 8, the Origin's increase was not even 300%. This was the process of unification. Fong Ping did not know how much increase he could maintain when the time came. However, even if it was only 100%, old Zhang could achieve an outburst of more than 60 million calories. The system, Fong Ping realized now that the most powerful thing was actually this balance conversion ability. With this ability, it would not be a problem to call this thing the most powerful divine weapon. Moreover, now that Fong Ping had developed it to this stage, the others did not need to upgrade step by step at all. Once they got it, it would be Fong Ping's development to this stage, and they could use it directly. The main body was in Fong Ping's hands. He did not even need to use wealth. Old Zhang licked his lips, a little moved. Tao increase, combat techniques increase. If the basic could reach 30 million calories, it would be more than 60 million. There was an additional increase in Emperor Tao. Before this, he was still worried that his current strength was too low, at the stage where he could only break through 2 gates. However, once he succeeded, old Zhang could not help but say, this energy consumption is the strength left behind by the 3 emperors, right? It should be counted. If I consume too much, does it mean that you Wang Jinyang and the rest still need to? I don't need it anymore. Fong Ping smiled. Old Wang and the rest. Fong Ping glanced at them, thought for a while, and said, let's see how much you've consumed. The strength left behind by these few back then should be quite a lot. I'll let you use it first. Old Wang, you guys don't have any objections, right? The few of them did not really understand, but they generally understood the function of this divine weapon. Balance. Combat force. Just like Fong Ping, it would greatly increase the basic combat strength. After that, it would be enhanced in combat outburst. This was indeed an incomparably powerful divine weapon. Whether it was old Zhang or the few of them, the effect should be about the same no matter who used it. However, Fong Ping considered that these few were being watched. It was easier for the 3 emperors to be discovered. Old Yao and Ironhead's mentality and vitality force were slightly different. It was easier for old Zhang to complete the qualitative change. In the end, he still wanted old Zhang to complete this step first. Zhang Tao looked at them, and finally at Wang Jinyang, saying, this thing was originally left behind by Heavenly Battle Emperor and the rest. It should be given to you guys to use, but this time I still want to take advantage of it. How about letting me use it first? If he used it first, if the energy was depleted, he might not be able to continue replenishing it. But Zhang Tao longed to become stronger. He wanted to participate in the final battle, not like this. He was just a bystander. He did not even have the use of changing paths for Fong Ping. As a martial king, as the emperor of the human race, he wanted to fight for a future for the human race. At this stage, participating in the Battle of Emperors was extremely dangerous, but he did not care. At least he could personally participate in this battle, the battle of the future. Old Wang chuckled. Just use it, Minister. This isn't ours anyway. Even if it was used in the battle back then, it has nothing to do with us. It belongs to Fong Ping now. Fong Ping thinks that it's most suitable for Minister to use it, so Minister should use it. Moreover, the few of us are not as experienced and knowledgeable as Minister. At least, it's still early for the few of us to have a qualitative change in mentality. Minister, on the other hand, is a step behind. Zhang Tao grinned. At this moment, he was in an extremely good mood. This is good stuff. This thing definitely can't be created by the God Creation Envoy. Fong Ping, you bastard. Be careful that I surpass you this time, and let you be arrogant. If his conversion was successful, the qualitative change would be complete, and he would be able to retain a little more of his Tao enhancement. There was really hope for him to surpass Fong Ping. Fong Ping did not have a Tao enhancement. This was the biggest difference between him and Zhang Tao. Of course, there were good and bad things. Even if Zhang Tao's Emperor Path was special, it was still controlled by the Source. This was the biggest difference between him and Fong Ping. Fong Ping was really strengthening himself, not strengthening his Tao. Fong Ping pursed his lips and said disapprovingly, "If you're capable, then surpass me. If you really surpass me, then it'll be easy. You go and deal with those guys, and I'll cheer you on. Do you really think I'm willing to be your fighter?" Zhang Tao could not stop laughing. Fong Ping continued, "Also, let me tell you that Thing's main body is with me. Right now, you're actually under my control. If I'm not happy, I'll blow up your brain. You won't even know how you died." TSK. Old Zhang did not think much of it. Then his eyes lit up. "Say, what if I throw it to the Emperor God and the rest and blow up their brains?" "Nothing much." Fong Ping was speechless. If they quickly change the balance, their original combat power of over 100 million will instantly break 2 to 300 million. Before you can blow them up, they'll kill you with a slap. "I won't do such a stupid thing." After saying this, Fong Ping could not help but laugh. This thing is really good stuff. Scholars are really amazing. They can even create this thing. If everyone has this thing in their hands, then it'll be... Don't even think about it. The difficulty of creating it must be frighteningly high. Also, it requires a lot of energy. Do you think everyone has the energy left behind by the three emperors? Old Zhang shook his head. If this thing was so easy to create, it would have been everywhere. Fong Ping laughed and suddenly said, "Old Zhang, do you regret it? If you had taken me down back then, maybe this thing would have been yours." Old Zhang rolled his eyes and ignored him. Everyone knew that Fong Ping was abnormal. A long time ago, Fong Ping even cooperated with the Research Institute to do research. MCMAU, including Zhang Tao, had always been protecting him. Otherwise, there would have been people who had designs on him. Regret what? Old Zhang said indifferently. First, it might not be possible to strip it off. It's already so difficult at your level, let alone us at that time. Second, if I kill you, won't I have to be a hired thug forever? Third, it's good that the thing is good, but if the humans themselves are willing to do anything to get the treasure, then the human spirit would have been broken long ago. These years, the development of the humans may not be satisfactory, but the human spirit has not been broken. Even if there are cases of killing people for the treasure, it's very rare. Old Zhang was a little proud. He humphed and said, "This is what it means to follow the example of superiors. I don't snatch the treasure. At least I don't snatch the treasure of my own people. When the people below see me like this, they'll follow suit. If they don't listen, then they're evil sections. Kill them. It doesn't matter how strong they are. At least the people must be united. In the past 100 years of new martial arts, I dare say that in the past 40,000 years, new martial arts has the most united people and the least internal strife. It was not that there were none, but it was the least. Even if Zhang Tao could not completely unite the entire human race and make all humans devoid of scum, he could suppress the greed in people's hearts to the lowest, to the deepest depths. This was what he was most proud of, because he, Zhang Tao, was the role model. He knew that many people had secrets. Many people had obtained treasures in the catacombs, and they were even very attractive to him. Even though he was tempted, he had never taken action. He looked proud. Fong Ping, however, curled his lips and muttered, "I don't know which bastard had designs on me every day back then. I don't know how many good things he had coveted from me." "That's different. I treated you like a grandson. That's why I asked you for those things," Fong Ping sneered. "You should become sworn brothers with the sun god and try calling Old Zhang his son. Let's see if he can beat you to death." Old Zhang was embarrassed. Forget it. He would not look for trouble anymore. However, if the conversion was successful and his strength increased greatly, it did not seem like a big deal for him to bully the Heavenly King's suppression. At this moment, Old Zhang's fighting spirit was high. This kid Fong Ping surpasses people every day and then goes looking for trouble to beat them up. I'll do the same, can't I? At this moment, old Zhang was grinning from ear to ear. With the divine weapon in hand, the world was mine. No wonder this kid Fong Ping was so confident every time. This time, it was his turn to be the main character. Chapter 1454. Fong Ping did not mind giving the system to old Zhang. Right now, he did not use the system much. It was more effective for old Zhang and the rest. As for old Zhang's arrogance, Fong Ping could not be bothered. You'll have to surpass me first. I'll go around Earth and integrate some cities. Fong Ping did not waste time. Right now, he still needed to improve his strength. His combat strength was less than 100 million. It was enough to deal with North Emperor and Beast Emperor, but it was not enough to deal with Emperor and Earthly Emperor. Old Zhang waved his hand casually. Right now, he was anxious to study the system and convert. He had no time to deal with Fong Ping. Fong Ping went around Earth again to show off his prowess. Integrating the cities, strengthening the residents in the cities, reciprocating each other, strengthening each other. For the current Fong Ping, even without the system, the reciprocating force was nothing. Without the system, Fong Ping felt slightly awkward, but he was more relaxed. Even though he knew that Heavenly Emperor Zhan was dead, Fong Ping still felt awkward. It was fine if the system did not have a master. With a master, he always felt like he was being controlled. It was fine now. Moreover, with his strength, he could sense his own strength clearly. Without the system, he could still sense the changes in his strength. The source world was 9,999 meters. After Fong Ping integrated 7 to 8 cities, it was still 9,999 meters. There were no changes. Obviously, this checkpoint required more strength to break through. Fong Ping was becoming stronger. Zhang Tao was becoming stronger. Everyone on Earth was becoming stronger. This stage was also the easiest to improve. The direction of the origin path was clear. As long as there was enough strength, they could keep moving forward. The power of the origin was getting easier and easier to comprehend. They were all becoming stronger. Fong Ping suddenly realized that the cat seemed to have changed. After integrating more than 20 cities, Fong Ping could not help but look at the cat on his shoulder. This cat's previously fiery red fur seemed to be glowing now. Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. "Big cat, what's wrong?" The cat yawned as if it wanted to sleep. Hearing Fong Ping's question, it opened its eyes and yawned. The trash can is producing trash again. Many people have become stronger. Fong Ping's expression changed again. That black swamp has become bigger. The ash cat was born from the source star. It was a product of the source star, an unexpected product. It collected some of the filth and negative emotions of the source Tao. Every time a great battle broke out, the experts of the Tao of origin would be filled with negative emotions, causing the azure cat to fall into a deep slumber. As the number of Tao of origin experts increased, it would be affected as well. Collect more negative emotions. Of course, the source ground was still there, and the celestial arch and the others were still suppressing it. This cat was not at the source ground, so it was less affected, but it was still somewhat affected. Fong Ping frowned. Has it grown bigger? A little, I guess. The cat was a little dispirited. That black quagmire seemed to have become bigger. When Dong Wang said that he needed someone to suppress the black mire, it was not without reason. The ash cat was strong enough to suppress it, but as the origin source Tao produced more and more trash, the ash cat still needed someone to help suppress it. The ash cat could suppress it now, but it might not be able to do so in the future. Quagmire, Fong Ping murmured. This quagmire was a hidden danger. If he did not resolve this quagmire, sooner or later, Song Mao's cat world would be covered by darkness. There was no such thing as a mental demon in the three realms. There was also no such thing as a true demon path. This was because most of the negative emotions entered the source ground through the origin source Tao. From the source ground, they entered Song Mao's cat world to cover and Song Mao to suppress them. This quagmire is actually similar to the Taoist rift produced by the 9 emperors. No, it's even more serious than this rift. The rift needs strength to suppress or fill it with energy. I'm afraid Song Mao's black quagmire is not just a matter of energy filling. Song Mao's black quagmire might need more things to be repaired. Fong Ping thought to himself. Song Mao muttered, "Liar, don't worry about this. If it doesn't work, I'll look for Celestial the Arch in the end. I'll be a permanent Song Mao trash can and stay in the source ground. He'll help me suppress it." Celestial the Arch wanted to restore the source ground. After it was restored, there were still some flaws in the source ground. Celestial the Arch would send these flaws into Song Mao's body. When the time came, he would naturally help Song Mao solve this problem. How to solve it? Suppress it forever. Fong Ping could imagine this outcome. His expression was uncertain. He looked at Song Mao and said in a low voice, "Are you willing to be suppressed in the source ground forever?" Song Mao said lazily, "As long as there's food." Fong Ping snorted. Who did not yearn for freedom? Who would want to be suppressed in a place for all eternity? Song Mao was immortal. As long as the source ground was not destroyed, it would not die. As long as the source ground existed, it might be suppressed and become a fixed garbage collection station. Was this the outcome that Song Mao wanted? If it did not care, why did it make the cat world sunny and beautiful? Why did it keep that black quagmire far away and never go near it? Cats also yearn for sunshine and beauty. Moreover, the source ground was not a good place. Fong Ping fell into deep thought. If the source ground was destroyed, Song Mao might also die. It was too deeply involved with the source ground. Not only Song Mao, if the source ground was destroyed, those emperors would also die. The origin path would also be completely destroyed. Who knew how many people would die from the backlash of the broken path? Destroying the source will cause countless people to die. As long as the source is not destroyed, emperors will not die. Celestial the Arch will not be able to destroy. So, the best way is to repair the source ground. Fong Ping felt a little helpless. In the end, the best way was to repair the source ground. Of course, it was not to seal it like Celestial the Arch, but to repair the current flaws of the source ground, so that the source ground would not have its power exhausted, and the origin path would not be suppressed again. The seed. In the end, the seed seemed to be the only way out. However, the seed had intelligence and wanted to destroy martial arts. The source ground, the seed, at this moment, Fong Ping began to hesitate. Should he look for the seed first or go to the source ground again? Going to the source ground was mainly to destroy the vitality seed, lest the vitality seed matured and was used by others. Then many martial artists of the vitality path would die. Looking for the seed was to obtain some true blood, or to talk to the seed. Even if there was no way to talk, it was necessary to know oneself and the enemy. Whose vitality seed does it belong to? Fong Ping pondered in his heart. It was not the emperors. This was for sure. It's not the emperors. It's not the North Emperor and the Beast Emperors. The reason why Fong Ping was sure of this was that these two were not as strong as the emperor. That day, the owner of the vitality seed fought with the emperor. They were both projections, and the emperor even used his own fingers. In the end, they only perished together. Obviously, that person's strength might be slightly stronger than the emperor. It's only those few fellows. But I'm afraid those few fellows can't escape with just the vitality seed, right? Could it be that they want to kill a few emperors to make up the numbers? Do Qiong, Hao Hong? The vitality seed could only belong to these four people, unless the emperor himself put on a show. But the possibility was not high. There was no need for the emperor to put on such a show. If he really wanted to put on a show, the best choice that day was actually to kill Fong Ping, the insider. The seeds could only belong to these four fellows, and these fellows still did not know what had happened that day. They only knew that Fong Ping had gone there and obtained the true blood because the emperor's clone and that fellow's clone had perished together. Is the energy seed made by Emperor Heaven Reverse? If it's not him, then it's the earthly sovereign. It feels like it's to help Hongkuen. These two fellows don't seem to be counting on this to escape at all. Then why do they make this seed? Fong Ping fell into deep thought. The energy seed did not show any effect at all. Emperor Heaven Reverse and the earthly sovereign did not do anything that day. The earthly sovereign was still okay, But if it was Emperor Heaven reverse, this guy actually did not have any reaction that day. Honkuin becoming an emperor does not benefit Emperor Heaven reverse at all. Other than increasing the source ground's burden, Fong Ping was slightly stunned. Increasing the source ground's burden? For seeds, splitting the immortal source. Honkuin proved his Tao with the seed. The source ground will be more and more overwhelmed. Fong Ping took a breath. Did Emperor Heaven reverse do it on purpose? He made a seed on purpose, on one hand, to make the immortal source power depleted, on the other hand, to help Honkuin prove his Tao, making the source ground's burden heavier? This is not good for him. But for the owner of the source ground, Celestial Emperor, it will increase the burden. He wants to fight against Celestial Emperors? Fong Ping was not surprised. Among the 9 emperors, the Divine Emperor and Emperor Heaven Reverse knew that Celestial Emperor might want to kill them. So they started fighting against Celestial Emperor 10,000 years ago. It was not impossible to drag Celestial Emperor down. But aren't these fellows afraid that Celestial Emperor and the source ground will be overwhelmed and really collapse? Fong Ping muttered to himself. Unless these fellows knew that Celestial Emperor was very powerful and could not crush him, they would not care. Would Celestial Emperor be crushed? No way. Fong Ping now suspected that Celestial Emperor did not suppress the source ground crack at all, but the seed did. Do they know? Fong Ping guessed in his heart. Soon, he shook his head slightly and stopped thinking about it. Whether they knew or not, these fellows did not dare to look for Celestial Emperor now. If he went to the source ground again, the owner of the Vitality Seed should be more vigilant. He might find out that he went to the source ground. Thinking of this, Fong Ping turned his head and looked at the dozing cat. This cat was getting lazier and lazier. Maybe he was really hit by the quagmire recently. Big cat, meows. The cat was half awake, opening its eyes to look at Fong Ping. Fong Ping hesitated for a while before saying, "There's a problem with your source world. The problem is too serious. I think if there's no way to solve it completely, it's better to be more straightforward." Fong Ping paused for a moment before continuing. Destroy this. After it's destroyed, the filth of the cat world will return to the source ground, causing the source ground to be impacted. But I'm worried that once the cat world is destroyed, you might die. The destruction of the source world was more serious than cutting off the Tao. There were almost no cases of survival. The cat blinked and looked at him, muttering, "If I die, will I not be able to eat anything good?" Fong Ping said calmly, "Don't think about eating. If you don't want to die, why don't you return to the source ground and be a garbage dump? Or what?" The cat stared at him, waiting for him to continue. "Think of a way to divert and cut it," Fong Ping said in a low voice. "Can the source world be cut?" "I don't know. Maybe I can help you cut off a part of it, cut off the filth area, which is the black quagmire, and then send it back to the source ground. As for the consequences after sending it back, it's none of our business." "Cut?" The cat's eyes widened. "Do a surgery?" "I don't want to." This was a major surgery. Cutting off the source world was more serious than a normal person cutting off their brain. It would hurt the cat to death. Fong Ping ignored it and said, "I'm afraid cutting it won't be that simple. Once it collapses, you'll still die." Fong Ping actually had a headache. This problem was very difficult to solve. The hidden dangers of the source existed even if there were no martial artists. The cat was born too early. It was not born later. Unless the source was destroyed, only then would it disappear. However, if the source was destroyed, the cat would die. The cat was also very desperate. It said pitifully, "Then forget it. If I don't die, I'll be a garbage can. Maybe I can eat something. If I die, I won't have anything to eat." Fong Ping was slightly shocked. He did not say anything. Perhaps the old cat was right. He did things with consideration. If you don't let me live, I won't let you live. At most, we'll die together. However, the cat might only have this little hobby. If it went to the source ground and became a garbage can, it might still be able to eat something. Loneliness, darkness, solitude, maybe it could bear it. However, Fong Ping sighed in his heart. How many years would it take to suppress it? As long as the source ground was not destroyed, it still needed to be suppressed. Could the cat really bear it? Maybe it would be easier then. Just like now, it could also come out. Source ground. In a dark place. Qin Fengqing carried his saber and said impatiently, "Why are you calling me?" Not far away, the emperor was floating in the air. He smiled and said softly, "The immortal source is about to mature. Once it matures, it will be the day when the powerhouses of the origin path are destroyed. It will also be the time when the celestial emperor is free." So what? Qin Fengqing did not care. What did it have to do with him? "The seed doesn't seem to want us to do anything," the emperor murmured. "Logically speaking, we should be stopping all of this now. We can't let the immortal source mature. Otherwise, the human race will be extinct and the seed will be in trouble." Qin Fengqing raised his eyebrows. On the seed side, even if the human race suffers heavy losses, it won't be too serious if its intelligence is affected. But the Celestial Emperor clearly wants to destroy the human race and use it to fill the hole. The Emperor's eyes flickered. If that's the case, how can the seed let the Celestial Emperor out? "Yes, what's wrong?" Qin Fengqing asked curiously. "Aren't we stopping it?" "We're stopping it. Fong Ping and the others are also stopping it." "Not that." The Emperor shook his head. "The seed has been entangled with the Sun God for so many years, but it rarely cares about the Celestial Emperor. Didn't they say that the Sun God and the seed are entangled?" Qin Fengqing was surprised. "The Sun God has been chasing after the seed, and the seed has no choice but to entangle with him." "You don't understand the Sun God," the Emperor chuckled. "The Sun God is very afraid of trouble. In the early stages, he was chasing after the seed, wanting to obtain stronger power. Later, he absorbed the power of the source land and was already extremely strong. At this time, he was actually too lazy to chase after it. It's the seed that has been staying in the human world." Qin Fengqing blinked. "Staying in the human world? Isn't the seed in the human world? Then where did the source come from? How did the arcane realm come from?" The Emperor's eyes flickered. "It doesn't have to stay in the human world. It's just that it has been staying in the human world all these years." Qin Fengqing frowned. "You mean, the seed doesn't seem to be in too much of a hurry, letting the Celestial Emperor create the immortal source and waiting for it to mature. It can't stop it, right?" "Yes." The Emperor laughed. "You're still young. Of course you don't understand. If it really wanted to stop it, there was actually a way. For example, when there was no energy in the human world, the seed no longer emitted energy, and the Emperor sword absorbed all the energy. At this time, the human race still existed, but martial arts would not flourish. As long as it emitted a little energy, it would be enough to maintain the human race. But the energy emitted by the seed could allow some people to continue practicing martial arts, to inherit martial arts and not completely destroy martial arts." Qin Fengqing raised his eyebrows and looked at him, not knowing what he was thinking. The Emperor said faintly, "What is the seed waiting for? Is it waiting for the Celestial Emperor to destroy martial arts? But if it's not careful, it will also become a perpetual motion machine." Qin Fengqing licked his lips and laughed. "Who cares what it's doing? It's better that it doesn't let us make a move. I've just achieved Tao. I'm no match for the Emperor God and the Celestial Emperor." "You don't understand." The Emperor saw Qin Fengqing's indifferent expression, as if he didn't understand. So be it. He couldn't help but laugh. "It's not that the seed didn't do anything. It should have reached an agreement with Hao, and Hao might be its arrangement to stop the Celestial Emperor. Fong Ping and the others could grow to this stage because of their own reasons, and also because the Emperor secretly let them go." Qin Fengqing nodded. He also suspected that Dong Huang was a partner of the seed. He looked at the Emperor again. "Isn't that it? That's why Hao ordered Chu to kill Ash Cat back then, probably to mess up the origin." "Yes, isn't this in line with the seed's purpose?" "But Ash Cat didn't die," Qin Fengqing said impatiently. "That's normal. Isn't there Celestial Emperor and Spirit Emperor protecting it? However, this also caused the Celestial Emperor to be more guarded against Hao. Later, they might have found out that the person behind the scenes was Hao. So Hao and the Celestial Emperor seemed to have a deep relationship, but in fact, they had already fallen out. Qin Fengqing frowned. You mean, if he's a partner of the seed, he should be more low-key? He's actually very low-key, right? It's not that. I want to say that Hao is a little strange, and so is the Celestial Emperor. The Emperor said faintly, they have fallen out, and they both know it. But most of the time, it doesn't feel like they've fallen out. It's more like acting. Acting? Qin Fengqing frowned and said in a low voice, What do you mean? You're saying that Dong Huang's heart is in Chao camp, and he didn't betray the Celestial Emperor at all, but he's just deliberately fooling the seed? Kind of. The Emperor laughed. But the seed isn't a fool. On the contrary, it's very intelligent. How can Hao fool it so easily? I'm confused by what you're saying. What do you mean? The Emperor sighed. I'm not afraid that Hao and the Celestial Emperor are acting. I'm afraid Hao, the Celestial Emperor, and the seed are acting together. Ah! Qin Fengqing was stunned. Then we are the real sacrificial pawns. The Emperor said coldly, Everyone knows that we're the seed's dogs. If they want to destroy the seed, then they have to destroy us. We're actually in a more dangerous situation than Fang Ping and the others. If we die, Fang Ping and the others die, the seed will be powerless to resist. Fang Ping and the others still need to wait for the immortal origin to mature before harvesting. But we actually don't need to wait. You mean someone wants to do something to us? Qin Fengqing frowned. The Celestial Emperor and the others? Yes, even the Celestial Emperor and Hao. In order to make this more realistic, we might have been abandoned. The Emperor looked at Qin Fengqing and smiled. Do you want to live? Of course, as long as you want to. The Emperor's eyes were deep, looking into the endless darkness. After a while, he said, If you want to live, then you have to fight. If you don't fight, how can you live? The situation today is more complicated than you can imagine. Some people pretend to be confused. Some people pretend to understand. Some people really don't understand. Some people actually know everything. The seed is not just the two of us. If that's the case, then I've underestimated the seed. If that's the case, it would have been swallowed by the sun god long ago. If you don't want to die, then you can't be a sacrificial pawn, but a key pawn. And now, we have a competitor. Qin Fengqing's eyes flickered. Dong Huang? Yes, the Emperor said coldly. Whether it's a real cooperation or not, he's a pawn of the seed. He's very important, at least more important than us. If we don't kill Hao, you and I are sacrificial pawns. The seed can abandon us at will. What do you want to do? Kill him? Qin Fengqing frowned. He's not that easy to kill. The Emperor said that he's the strongest after the four of them. He's hard to kill, but it's not impossible. The Emperor said coldly, You me Zhen Fang Ping? I'll think of a way to get Hong. We'll attack him together. How can he not die? Qin Fengqing frowned. But Dong Huang's existence actually reduces the pressure on the human race. Will Fang Ping agree to cooperate to kill Dong Huang? You're still not good enough, Jeff Fang Ping. The Emperor chuckled. Reduce pressure? In Fang Ping's eyes, we can all be killed. With one dead, there would be one less. With less scheming, there would be more peace. Dong Huang is so strong. Why would he trust him? Killing Hao might even help Zhen get out of trouble. He'll agree. The more people die, the fewer powerhouses there are, the simpler the situation is. There's no need to worry about betrayal, no need to worry about scheming. Do you think he'll agree? Qin Fengqing thought about it and agreed, but still said solemnly, Dong Huang is too strong. According to our calculations, his combat strength is probably more than 120 million. Do you think so? Yes. The Emperor did not deny it. He chuckled. Definitely. It might even exceed this number. 150 million is not impossible. As for Emperor God and Do, they're probably close to Celestial Emperor. As for Celestial Emperor and Sun God, our estimate is 200 million. What about you? Qin Fengqing raised his brows. I know the human race is strong. It's actually helpful to you. I don't believe you haven't broken 100 million. Barely broke 100 million. The Emperor did not deny it. He smiled. The gap between me and Hong isn't big. Zhen has been consolidating his Tao fruit and looking for stellar stones. Right now, he has a short period of improvement. Soon, he'll be close to 100 million. With the three of us as the main force, Fong Ping can suppress Ling and is starting to get close to this level. With the help of others, including Xu Xiang, who achieved Tao breakthrough 9 years ago. This time, she's also strengthening herself. Even if she's not as good as Zhen, she's close to Huang's level. Qin Fengqing pondered for a while. If we kill Dong Wang, it won't be small. The seed will definitely know. So what if they know? The emperor laughed. Did the seed say that Hao is one of us? Can't we kill him? We're just guessing. Hao is Celestial Emperor's lackey. We're the seed's lackeys. Isn't it logical to kill him? After killing him, we still have to ask for benefits from the seed to consolidate our position. At the same time, we can tell the seed that we're the only two people it can trust. This will help us fight for greater benefits. Qin Fengqing looked at him and grinned. Why are you looking for me? My strength isn't that great. Although I broke 9 before and improved this time, I'm at most 50 million calories. Are you afraid that Fong Ping won't believe you and want me to talk to them? Yes and no. If you talk to them, they'll be more at ease. The emperor laughed. Also, I hope you can talk to Wang Jinyang and the others. Qin Fengqing was stunned. Then, his expression changed slightly. You want to lure out Dong Wang's Tao fruit? Let old Wang and the others open the passageway? Yes. Qin Fengqing said in a low voice. They won't agree. Fong Ping won't either. Once the passageway's location is exposed, all three of them will be in danger. Do you really think I don't know? That's why I can only ask you to convince them. The emperor laughed. I can't do it. Fong Ping won't trust me. But you can. You're friends with the 3 reincarnations. If you kill Hao, I guarantee that I won't ask for Hao's Tao fruit. You guys can distribute it. Qin Fengqing stared at him, frowning in silence. After a while, he bared his teeth and said, All right, I'll go. But I want star stones, a lot of them. I'll forge a clone and send it to Earth. I'll give some to Fong Ping to show my sincerity. This guy has a big appetite. If you talk to him about working together without giving him any benefits, he'll spit you to death. The emperor laughed. He was not surprised. He tossed out 5 star stones and laughed. That's all I have. I only have these left after all these years. Qin Fengqing, it's a win-win cooperation. As for killing Hao and thinking of attacking me at the same time, you better not think about it. I'm not that stupid. I'll trust you guys completely. Qin Fengqing snorted and sneered. Dong Wang isn't that stupid either. This plan might not work. Moreover, you have to attack the source, which is even more dangerous. It doesn't have to be the source. Outside the source is fine too. The emperor said faintly. If the 3 reincarnations are willing, they can help Hao get out first and kill him outside. How we'll see. Qin Fengqing was too lazy to answer. The possibility was not high. However, returning to Earth was good too. The emperor suddenly looked for him today and wanted to kill Dong Wang. Qin Fengqing felt that there were some things he might not know. He should go back and ask. This guy, the emperor, was not simple either. He did not even want the Tao fruit and insisted on killing Dong Wang. What was this guy's purpose? Was it really to strengthen their position? Did they not want to be abandoned by the seeds? Qin Fengqing's head hurt. These things became more troublesome the more he thought about it. The clues he knew were limited. Maybe he would know more if he asked Fong Ping. That fellow was sly and cunning. Chapter 1455. Kill Dong Wang? In the Magic Martial Arts Grand Hall, Fong Ping circled around Qin Fengqing. This was a clone. Qin Fengqing lay lazily on the chair and yawned. What do you think? Nothing much. Fong Ping pursed his lips. This guy might be the seed's loyal lackey, trying to lure out the 3 emperors Tao, right? Fong Ping had some suspicions. Firstly, the human sovereign knew about the collaboration between the Celestial Arch and the seed, so he wanted to take the opportunity to eliminate Dong Wang and reduce his opponents. Secondly, Dong Wang might be a pawn of the seed. He was left behind to kill the Celestial Arch. After all, the seed, and the celestial the arch were working together. They didn't say that they wouldn't kill the celestial the arch. The celestial the arch found out that something was wrong and asked the human sovereign to do it. Yes, it wasn't impossible for both sides to plant spies in each other's camps. Thirdly, to lure out the great Tao of the three emperors. Actually, Fong Ping felt that the third possibility was the most likely. Cooperate to kill Dong Wang? He could not have killed Dong Wang earlier or later, but now he had to kill Dong Wang, and he even had to lure the three emperors' great Tao out of the Tao fruit. How dangerous was this? At the side, Elder Zhang said in a low voice, "There's not much benefit in killing Dong Wang. His hostility towards humans isn't too deep, at least not yet. I don't think there's a need to take the risk." On the other side, Old Wang hesitated and said, "Killing Dong Wang is very difficult. Moreover, actually I feel for him. Previously, when he combined my three Daos, although it might not have been out of good intentions, now, his plan was not to attack Dong Wang now. Dong Wang had given him some help previously. However, very quickly, Lao Wang exhaled and said, "You can decide. I'm not fighting. If it's beneficial to the human race, you can decide." Fong Ping fell into deep thought. After thinking for a while, he looked at Qin Fengqing and asked, "What do you think?" "I think." Qin Fengqing smiled and said, "Whatever. It doesn't matter if I kill one or two. Both of them are very strong. Who do you think is suitable to kill?" "Maybe they are in cahoots." Fong Ping said coldly, "Do you really think I'm a weakling that you can kill as you please?" Fong Ping pondered for a while. "If we're talking about killing an emperor is easier. As for the Tao fruit, the Azure Cat could find the Tao fruit, but it was not impossible. Why did he have to use the Tao of the three emperors to tempt him? I have a feeling that the human emperor is up to no good. This fellow is most likely trying to find the entrance to the great Tao." Qin Fengqing said lazily, "It's not like he doesn't know how paranoid you are. Isn't it too obvious? This guy asked me to find you. Do you think he wants to catch all of you in one fell swoop? Catch them all in one go." Fong Ping sneered. Then he frowned and said, "The emperor's goal is indeed unclear. Killing Dong Wang? I don't think it's possible. It's also very difficult." As he said that, Fong Ping shook his head slightly. "Forget it. Leave him be. You agreed to join forces with him?" Fong Ping agreed casually, saying indifferently, "How about this? You go and tell him that the 18 levels of heaven have converged. He, the earthly sovereign, and you are all lying in ambush there." Qin Fengqing blinked. "We're lying in ambush. What about you?" "Nonsense. I have to go later. If I arrive first, it'll be easy for me to be ambushed." Then, as Qin Fengqing spoke, he raised his eyebrows and said, "You brat, you're not going to stand me up, are you? I don't understand what you're saying." Fong Ping said impatiently, "All right, that's it. We'll take the things. If there's nothing else, get lost. You're seedling's lackey now. If I don't trust you, get as far away as you can. 3 days later, the 18 levels of heaven will converge. Dong Wang is not far from there. Lure Dong Wang out and kill him. That's it." Qin Fengqing bared his teeth. This was 2F** King casual. "Killing Dong Wang? You're being so casual. Do you think I'm stupid and have no arrangements at all? Hurry up and get lost. That's it. If they don't go to the 18 levels of heaven, you'll be a traitor to humanity. I'll deal with you later." Qin Fengqing bared his teeth. "You mean I have to bring them there, right?" "No problem. What if you don't bring them there? Then I'll deal with them as traitors." "How?" "Duh. I'll kill them with one slash. What else can I do?" Qin Fengqing bared his teeth. "Mother of Kerr, at least give me a complete plan. Will he believe it if it's so casual?" "Make it up yourself." Fong Ping looked impatient and insincere. "Think of a way to make it up. It's best if he believes it. If he doesn't bring them there, we'll make our move in 3 days. Qin Fengqing cursed. "If you don't come, won't he know that I'm fooling him?" "So what? Kill you? F***ck me. Are you sure you won't go?" "Guess." "I'm not guessing." Qin Fengqing looked annoyed. Guess your sister. I'm not guessing. All right, get lost. We humans will be discussing important matters next. If you have nothing to do, go away. Qin Fengqing looked gloomy. He humphed and said sullenly, I'm going to take a walk. It's not easy for me to come out. Up to you, Fong Ping said, looking at old man Li. Teacher, keep an eye on him. Monitor him. See if he's done anything bad. If he's done something bad, kill him. That's it. Qin Fengqing's face darkened. He left in anger. Old man Li chuckled and left as well. Old Zhang laughed. He won't, right? Ignore him. Just keep an eye on him. What's wrong? Fong Ping said nonchalantly. It's best if he doesn't have any bad intentions. If he does, I'll kill his clone. As he said that, he looked at everyone. The Emperor suddenly wants to kill East Emperor. This is strange. I'm starting to wonder if this guy is creating an opportunity for me on purpose. What do you mean? Old Zhang was stunned. Fong Ping rubbed his chin. I was thinking of going to the Source Land. He transferred himself, East Emperor, an earthly emperor away. The Emperor God won't go out. The Heavenly Reverse Emperor is guarding his own territory and Emperor Nan's territory. How much strength can he spare now? The Spirit Emperor is at the Source Land. When the Source Land arrives, won't the only ones left be North Emperor and Beast Emperor? Huh? Old Zhang was slightly stunned. Fong Ping was also puzzled. Is this guy creating an opportunity for us on purpose? Actually, he wants us to kill North Emperor and Beast Emperor? To be honest, it won't be a problem for me and Heavenly King Garrison to take down one of them each. Moreover, the others won't have spare strength to rescue them. Isn't this giving us meat? If we kill one, there will be one less for the 9 emperors. Just like what he said, one less means one less scheme. I'm just thinking of killing them, but he's giving me an opportunity right away. I'm a little worried. You want to kill Beast Emperor and North Emperor. Old Zhang interrupted. You want to kill both of them at once? Aren't you afraid that the Celestial Emperor and the others will come out and kill you? What's there to be afraid of? Fong Ping said disapprovingly. The Celestial Emperor wants them dead. He wants everyone dead. It's best if they die. But if the fruits are taken away, the Celestial Emperor probably won't be happy. He might snatch the fruits, but he won't care if they die or not. After all, if the fruits are taken away, the Source Land will collapse easily. The Emperor God and Battle Emperor are actually the Emperor God's underlings. Fong Ping hesitated. What the Emperor God is trying to do, I really don't understand. As he said that, Fong Ping gritted his teeth. Whatever, I'll kill them. Killing these two can at least free Heavenly King Garrison. Even if Heavenly King Garrison is more powerful now, these two together are enough. Old Wong, when the time comes, you'll be in charge of opening your passageway. I'll see if I can make the old guy's fruits leave. The old guy is Sun God's disciple. Will this guy just watch at the crucial moment? We'll kill them and he'll be in charge of the rear. I don't think it's a big problem. As he said that, Fong Ping said, Old Zhang, you, me, and Cat will be in charge of killing Beast Emperor. Let Heavenly King Garrison and the others kill North Emperor. Is there any problem on your side? Old Zhang said confidently, It's just a Beast Emperor. Fong Ping rolled his eyes. How arrogant. With the system, he really thought of himself as the protagonist. Old Zhang could not be bothered with him. Are we really going to act in 3 days? Of course not. Fong Ping curled his lips. How can we act in 3 days? Then if we act in advance, and they don't go to 18 levels of heaven, won't that be a waste of time? Go find Dong Wang. Fong Ping looked at Old Wang and said, Old Wang, it's up to you. Think of a way to contact Dong Wang and tell him that Emperor wants to ambush and kill him. You can't bear to see your teachers kill each other. Tell him that there's an ambush in 18 levels of heaven. Old Wang frowned. If that's the case, if he chooses to avoid it, won't we be unable to restrain him? Are you stupid? If he doesn't know about it, then he'll hide well and won't come out rashly. If he knows about it, then he knows about it and deliberately created an opportunity for us. He won't care if we kill him. Fong Ping chuckled. If he joins forces with Emperor, both sides will continue to put on an act for us to see. Old Zhang frowned. But what if they're ambushing us? What should we do? Once we act, they will join forces to attack us. Won't that be dangerous? Fong Ping laughed. There's also this possibility. By surrounding and killing us, they can force Old Wang and the others to open the passageway and let us escape, forcing them to reveal the location of the passageway. Then what should we do? Fong Ping shrugged. What else can we do? Open it. At most, we can open two. If we don't open the last one, either the three emperors don't die or their paths will be cut off. So, even if we find two, these guys might not cut off their paths unless all three are exposed at the same time. That's too risky, Old Zhang said in a low voice. Why don't we tell them about Celestial Emperor's plan? What do you think? It's not very useful. Whether they know or not, actually at this point, they already have no choice. Fong Ping exhaled. If we tell them, it'll easily attract Celestial Emperor's attention. Who knows if Celestial Emperor has planted someone among them? It's fine to tell Sun God, but if we tell those guys, be careful that they won't even give us the last chance and finish us off in advance. Fong Ping continued, there's a high chance of killing Beast Emperor and North Emperor. It can let suppressing Heavenly King escape. I said we'll attack 3 days later. If Earthly Emperor and the others really attack, then we'll have to make arrangements the next day and go to 18 levels of heaven. If we don't go, then it'll be fake. Let Qin Fengqing be a spy and give us the signal. If we go, we'll enter the source the day after tomorrow to kill. Qin Fengqing, Old Zhang whispered. Aren't you afraid that he's in cahoots with Emperor and the others? What's there to be afraid of? It's not like we can count on him alone. Fong Ping laughed. It's not like there's no one in our source land. Let the God Creation envoy go to 18 levels of heaven to keep an eye on it. There's still hope for Shu Xiang and suppressing Heavenly King to work together to deal with North Emperor. If that doesn't work, we can use Heavenly Hound and the others. Our goal is still to kill Beast Emperor quickly. Old Zhang exhaled. I keep feeling that it's too fast. This is actually not a good time to make a move. I keep feeling that there's a conspiracy. These emperors are not normal. It's as if they can't wait for you to kill a few of them. Fong Ping raised his eyebrows. Needless to say, even he himself had this feeling. These old things seemed to be eager for him to kill a few emperors. Of course, they were all weak emperors. Powerhouses all had their own thoughts. However, Beast Emperor and North Emperor might have their own plans. For example, the planets with life. However, these two fellows seem to have been excluded from the powerhouse circle. Is it a scavenger? At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly had such a thought. These fellows wanted him to be a scavenger? If that was what Celestial Emperor was thinking, then what about the Divine Emperors and the others? This time, was it Emperor's own idea, or was it someone else who made him do it? Who? Seed? Celestial Emperor? Divine Emperor? Divine Emperor? The relationship between these emperors was so complicated that it was impossible to tell who belonged to who. They were all top-notch powerhouses. Perhaps there was no such thing as who belonged to who. They were all doing it for their own interests and for themselves. Since they all want me to be a scavenger, then I'll be a scavenger. Fong Ping really did not mind being an executioner. Beside him, Old Zhang suddenly said, Fong Ping, if Emperor and the others knew about Celestial Emperor's plan, what do you think they would do? Huh? Old Zhang raised his eyebrows. They don't dare to destroy the Celestial Source openly, but they can make the Source land more chaotic, so that Celestial Emperor has no choice but to use more strength to suppress it. In reality, they won't fight with us for the Tao fruits. They can't wait for the fruits to be broken. The more emperors die, the better. Let the source be in chaos. Fong Ping was slightly shocked. You mean, yes, restrict Celestial Emperor? By killing some emperors, let Celestial Emperor use more strength to suppress it and be tired of dealing with it. Old Zhang laughed. Celestial Emperor also wants you to deal with them, but Celestial Emperor doesn't want us to take away the Tao fruits. If Emperor and the others know about Celestial Emperor's thoughts, Their idea is to let the source land restrain Celestial Emperor. So, if you really want to know, killing a few emperors might be their common idea. The difference is that one needs the Tao fruits to be broken, the other needs the Tao fruits to be left behind. If the Tao fruits were left behind, then there would not be a situation where the first heaven could not be suppressed. If the Tao fruits were broken and someone escaped, then there would be a first heaven. If the Tao fruits were lost, the power would escape from the source land and must be suppressed. Fong Ping calculated for a while and could not help but sneer. In that case, weak emperors are actually meant to be killed. Both sides may want these people to die. The only difference is that after they die, their power will be taken away or left in the source land. That's right. Old Zhang nodded. So, killing them may not be dangerous, but after killing them, snatching the Tao fruits may be the biggest danger. It's okay. The sun god is still here. Fong Ping narrowed his eyes. It's not like we're saving ourselves or the heavenly king. How can the sun god not make a move? How can he be embarrassed? Old Zhang was speechless. Were you sure that he was embarrassed? Fong Ping was stunned. That was true. That shameless old man might really be embarrassed. If the heavenly emperor makes a move, he will make a move. If the heavenly emperor doesn't make a move, he probably won't make a move. The heavenly emperor wants to keep the Tao fruits. The others may hope that the heavenly emperor will use more power to suppress the source land. So, it's not a big problem. Fong Ping thought for a while and said, I'll go to Sun City later and tell him. If it doesn't work, I'll just abandon the heavenly king and let this old man save it himself. As Fong Ping said that, he chuckled. That's good too. Get ready. We'll enter the source land the day after tomorrow. When we go in, we'll find the Beast Emperor and the others and kill them directly. We'll destroy the vitality seeds at the same time. There are too many human martial artists pinned down there. It's very troublesome. Old Zhang nodded. Old Wang and the other two also nodded slightly. Now, these things were decided by Fong Ping. Even if they felt that it was not the right time, since Fong Ping had decided to kill, everyone would support him. Fong Ping asked again, what about Celestial Pole? We will go in the day after tomorrow. I will leave a clone behind and let Heaven's Pole attack the 9 heavens with me. Let's see if we can lure Western Emperor out. Once he comes out, we can attack the Celestial Origin world and restrain Spirit Emperor. At the same time, we can also divert Heaven Emperor's attention. Old Zhang couldn't help laughing. Celestial Pole? If you didn't mention it, I would have forgotten about it. He locked himself in the small world of Polaris City, saying that he wanted to cultivate in seclusion and wouldn't come out no matter what. He exiled himself. Fong Ping was also speechless. This guy had reached a whole new level of cowardice. He had actually forgotten about him. He had forgotten that there was actually a guy on Earth who had broken through 8. Find him and bring him up to the 9 heavens. After saying that, Fong Ping glanced at Old Zhang and sent a voice transmission. Have you completed the conversion now? It's done, but it hasn't undergone a qualitative change. Old Zhang had a headache. His mentality had been converted to 99,999 hertz, and his vitality had decreased a little, but the qualitative change had not been completed. In the past few days, Fong Ping had integrated some cities. In fact, the human race's strength had increased a lot. But this was not enough. Qualitative change was still relatively difficult. Try to breach the void gate. There's still a void gate, right? Yes. Old Zhang's Tao was still there. Of course, there was still a void gate. It was just that it was not controlled by the immortal source. Void gate. I'm afraid it's still lacking a little. Lacking what? Fong Ping said in surprise. The others only underwent a qualitative change after breaking through the void gate. You've already reached the peak. Theoretically, breaking through the void gate shouldn't be difficult. Nonsense, I have to be able to reach it first. Old Zhang rolled his eyes. I have the ability to break through, but the length of the Tao isn't enough. I haven't reached the void gate area yet. Do you want me to break through the gate through the air? Fong Ping was stunned for a moment. That made sense. Although his mentality had reached that level, Old Zhang was different from the other old antiques. The other old antiques had actually walked through the gate first before reaching the point where they could breach the gate. Old Zhang had not reached that point yet. What should we do then? Nothing, old Zhang replied. Very quickly, he said, it's not that there's no way. If you want to go further on the Emperor path, there are still ways. For example, getting the recognition of powerhouses. You can't do it. You've completely broken away. Now find a few emperors to recognize you, and I can go further immediately. For example, old Devil Zhen. For example, the God Creation Envoy. For example, the Heavenly Dog. For example, Qin Fengqing. As he said that, he added, scholarly fragrance is fine too. These fellows actually did not recognize the human race. Perhaps it was not that they did not recognize it, but they did not think that old Zhang was qualified to be their boss. Therefore, old Zhang's emperor path could not borrow power from them. Those who could borrow power were some real human powerhouses. Fang Ping frowned. The others are hard to convince. Qin Fengqing, this son of a bitch, actually doesn't recognize it either. He's not convinced. No, his clone hasn't left yet, right? I'll go beat him up. If that doesn't work, I'll inform Heavenly King Jin and the others to deal with this son of a bitch at the source land. I've raised him for so many years, yet he doesn't recognize the Emperor path. He's not giving me face, is he? Old Zhang laughed. That's normal. He's this kind of lawless fellow. If you let him be my son, he might not be willing. What son? Fang Ping said impatiently. This is called supporting the development and construction of the human race, defending the interests of the human race. This fellow, no, I have to teach him a lesson. There might be restrictions on the seed. Old Wang still helped to explain. Even if he wants to recognize it, the seed might not be able to stop this kind of recognition. Otherwise, if he's restricted by the Emperor path, then wouldn't the seed be cultivating the Emperor for us for nothing? As soon as these words came out, Fang Ping's anger dissipated a little. This was a possibility. However, he still decided to teach him a lesson. Then let's try someone else? Fang Ping thought for a while. Heavenly King Jin and the God Creation Envoy. These fellows are not the kind who will bow down easily. Scholarly fragrance. He used to be a book boy, an ancient human. He still recognizes the human race quite a bit. Even if it's to avenge Zhan, he's not the kind of person who fights for victory. If you let him recognize the human race, you should be able to have a qualitative change directly, and you can even walk a long path. Fang Ping set his sights on scholarly fragrance. To put it bluntly, the others were all overlords of a region. They were used to being lawless and unruly. An old antique like Heavenly King Jun would not recognize old Zhang so easily. A long time ago, the cat said that Heavenly King Jun and old Zhang had to fight. Unless old Zhang really defeated him, then Heavenly King Jun might possibly recognize old Zhang's position. Otherwise, don't even think about it. Although scholarly fragrance was also powerful, he was not born as an overlord. His identity had always been a book boy. His goal was not to become an overlord but to avenge Zhan. Obtaining scholarly fragrance's recognition was easier. Fang Ping thought for a while and smiled. How about this? I'll make a trip to the source later. I won't enter, but I'll talk to scholarly fragrance 3 doors away. If it's successful, your strength will increase greatly. Scholarly fragrance is not weak. If I don't enter the source, those fellows probably won't do anything to me. After Fang Ping said that, he exhaled and said, first become stronger, then clean up those weak emperors. Finally, whether it's to break the immortal source or to deal with the Emperor God and the others, we'll take it one step at a time. Everyone had no objections. The reason why they did not make accurate arrangements was because they were not strong enough. If they were not strong enough, the arrangements would be for nothing. Not long after, Qin Fengqing's clone returned to the source, incomplete. He found Emperor and told him to meet in 3 days. Fang Ping agreed. As for the clone being beaten like a dog, Qin Fengqing was too lazy to say anything. It was good enough that the clone was not destroyed. After a while, in a dark world where no one condensed Dao fruits, Emperor chuckled. He agreed, but with his personality, it's hard to say whether he will come or not. This time, Is your goal to break the Tao fruit or the path of the three emperors? What do you think? In the darkness, someone answered. What do I think? Emperor smiled faintly. I don't want to guess. It's meaningless. I'm just afraid that the next one to be settled will be me. I don't care what you want to do. You and I are not the same kind of people. The only thing I need is King Marshall's Tao fruit. You guys promised me this. King Marshall's Tao fruit will definitely be yours. Emperor said faintly. It sounds nice, but it's not easy. Take care of King Marshall. What about Fong Ping? It's because it's too difficult that I have no choice but to give up. Of course, this is your problem. I only want this. Give it to me when you get it. Before that, I won't appear. Of course, I'm just afraid someone will sell me out and give the Tao fruit to King Marshall. Emperor laughed faintly, saying it lightly, but he did not care too much. He said casually, try it. Maybe there's a chance. If there's really no chance, I'll completely sell myself to the seed. The new world may still need a fighter that can be completely controlled and not a partner like the others. Emperor laughed, his apparition dissipating instantly. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.